Hi there. I am starting this at the time I said, even though I had forgotten that somebody else I know is on at this time. So I'm just going to give the information that I was asked to give and treat this like it is an informational video until somebody shows up, and we'll see how it goes. Hi, how you doing, Whitey? Whitey? Whitey. My racist phone. No, this is not my racist phone. How are you doing? Yeah, I have to start or I'm never going to finish. It gets so late for me if I wait for everybody else's stream to finish before I get started, you know? So, and Titan is not here yet, and he's the one that suggested tonight's topic. So I'm not sure whether or not to start that yet. Let me see. Hey, there you go. Ah, okay. Well, yeah, you're actually the reason I'm doing this particular stream, or the reason I'm doing this particular information. Uh, Basically about the storm beings and how they're viewed shamanically. Hi, Em. How are you doing? I'm sorry you can't stay long, Titan, but I'm glad that you'll watch it later. Like I was saying, I forgot that we have somebody else on that I know, but well, what are you going to do? If I start too late, I'm going to fall asleep before I can even do my own stream. I can't stay up forever, so I've got to start. I was trying to find, as you know, I've been struggling to find times to do my stream when I'm not, over the top of anybody, but it's really hard. And I figure we don't all have quite the same crowd exactly. We have different people, and slightly different lines of approach. So you can come and go as you like, too. And as Brent said, it's really egotistical to think that it, he said he would think it was kind of egotistical to worry about somebody else streaming over the top of him. It's like it's hard to find a time. It's just when nothing is going on, something's going on all the time. So you just you gotta put yourself out there and hope and like try not to offend anybody. I hope. Okay, I love everybody. Yeah. Oh, you have to work tomorrow. Yeah. See, Titan, that's another thing too. That's why I'm going to try streaming earlier. I'm going to get unlimited and I'm going to try and get on like a lot earlier. Like instead of starting at 11:30, I'm considering like something like 8 o'clock or something. Or, because it gets really late for me. So hey, yeah, get a question in before bed, Titan. But oh, Mondays are dead, I know. And Sunday used to be kind of dead, but not so much anymore, I guess. So, I'm not trying to be me. I just got to do something sometime, and so I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. Anyway, if anybody wants to come on and give their story, let me know. Right now, I'm going to do a brief rundown about storms and, oh, you weren't encouraging him. Chris Jarvis says, I wasn't encouraging him. Okay. You've got a stream for tomorrow night, MCAT. Oh, cool. Okay, I got to see that too. All right, see, I'll have to go and see that. You see how this is? We're all streaming now. All my friends are streaming. How do I get to all of this? How do I do all of this and have any kind of a life? It's so hard. I want to see all your shows. Hi, Annie. Hey. Okay, so let me, for Titan, so because he has to get to some rest. You are not streaming yet. I have a feeling almost everybody's going to end up. It seems like everybody's got a stream now. But I've wanted to do this for a long time, so doggone it, I'm going to do it. Whatever. Okay, Annie, it's nice to see you in here. I got to get onto this subject before Titan has to go to bed. Okay, because he asked for it. And he asked about Tempest, and I wasn't really ever acquainted with that being as a name for a storm spirit, but I am very acquainted with storm spirits and nature spirits in general. And really, a storm, one thing that a storm does, there's a couple of things that storms do. And it's interesting how the Wolf Clan Lodge thinks about this, because Jamie Sams, who wrote the Sacred Path card, the deck of cards that I use, and the animal medicine cards, she belongs to the Wolf Clan. And the way that they look at it, I guess, is when you see the thunder and the lightning, and the rain, that is the sky and the earth making love. They're replenishing each other. The Sky Father is recharging the Earth Mother. And it's interesting because before lightning hits, there is actually a leader that comes up from the Earth so that the lightning can follow it down. So there is an energy exchange there. So they see it as lovemaking. Now, if you think about this, it is the lightning striking the earth that causes the Schumann resonance, the resonance of this planet. That is how it is measured. So if the resonance goes up, it's because there are more lightning strikes. Now, there is another way to see a storm, and that is, but it still has a function. The function of storms is to clean, and they will be drawn to negative energy. And this is why a lot of them start really harmlessly. A lot of the big storms and monsoons and stuff start out in the ocean somewhere, in the middle of the ocean, and then they come inward to land where the negative energy needs to be cleansed. So really, storms are not meant to be bad ever. They're really not. And they can be used. It's a great time to dump your negative stuff, your negative energy. It's going to be cleaned up. That's the purpose of a storm. And they do have personalities. The shamans have always seen the storms, every aspect of nature, including storms, as having personalities. And that's probably the best way I could explain that. Hey, Ben, how you doing? Yeah. And we just had Bomber. I wish Bomber would come in and tell us her story about standing in a storm and how it cleared her of some things. I have experienced the same thing. A storm is for clearing and cleaning and revitalizing. And if it looks like it's going to be big and destructive, you can also split a storm. You can divert a storm. If you are in tune with nature, you can actually talk to the storm and ask it to not be deadly or to not be destructive. You can split it in two so that it passes harmlessly around human habitations. You can just talk to it. I mean, once you start talking to nature, it starts to listen and it starts to talk back too. And yes, you can absolutely talk to these things. Now, hurricanes, they also start way out in the ocean and then they come right into wherever the most negativity is. They aim right at it. Well, I'll tell you, you know, I think you could split a hurricane too. I think I've even seen it happen a couple of times when a hurricane has lost a lot of its power before it gets to the mainland, where it was supposed to be a big deal. I remember one time we had a tidal wave coming on the coast, on the West Coast, and somebody we knew was there, and one of my friends called me, and it's like, oh no, somebody is, you know, there is a tidal wave warning, it's coming, great, you know, we it looks like a possible tsunami is going to hit, and I forget what year this is. Possible tsunami going to hit the West Coast. And I remember saying, no, that's not going to happen. Between the two of us, I looked again. I just decided, I don't know how this happened exactly, but I just decided this is not going to happen. You know, there's too much going on the West Coast. It's very populated. We can't afford to have it wiped out. And somehow the next time we looked, the tsunami warning didn't exist anymore. It was canceled. It happened, but it was canceled. I don't know how. It's just that we just both decided that we can't be having this happen. Was it us? Was it a whole bunch of other people deciding the same thing? Maybe with the same kind of knowledge? I don't know. All I know is that a tsunami did not hit that coast and there was no damage done. Did we flatten a tsunami? Maybe we did. Is it possible? Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. Totally possible. I think we were supposed to do this kind of thing. I think it is what we are made for. I think we have this mechanism in us able to do this because it's what we're supposed to be doing. And I would like to see that turn on in all of you. Of course, if you use these things destructively, there is a price to pay. But there have been many times when storms have passed around my area harmlessly or have done no serious damage. Or I remember the first time I really was aware of this, it seemed like I got so tall. I was thinking about the coming storm. I got really tall somehow. I looked around. I felt like there were other very tall beings standing with me. And we all decided that there was no lives would be lost. And there wasn't. It was supposed to be a very destructive storm, but no lives were lost in that one. And it was weird. I had not really thought about that before, you know, and all of a sudden I realized somehow, and I wasn't alone either. Somehow we were telling the storm what it needed to do. Okay, that's a shamanic thing. So nature will actually work with you if you give it a chance. Just give it a chance. And it doesn't take a lot of effort really to develop that relationship. All you have to do is spend time in nature and just send it love. Send love to the sky, send love to the clouds, and feel it return to you. Hey, Pam, how you doing? Hey, Portable Tree, nice to see you. Hi, everybody. Oh, it's nice to see you come in because I was a little worried there for a minute, but it's like, I don't know, I'm just trying to get this question answered for Titan because he asked about this. Okay, so basically storms are meant to be beneficial, and we should not be afraid. Actually, being afraid of a storm is going to draw it right for you. It's going to make it come right at you. So when they use this on the news to hype their news and get all the fear and stuff going, they are actually doing harm. They're doing harm. And so we got to stop that. It's like, stop and think what you're doing, folks. It's so easy to just go out and you can, if you let yourself, you can feel when nature is talking to you. Now, sometimes sometimes it will rain on me still, lightly though. If I say, I don't really want you to burst into a rain, you know, I'm on my way home and I'm outside, please don't freeze me, but it'll drip lightly on me until I'm in under shelter, and then it'll rain. It's so funny. It's like, but I want to touch you. I want to, you know, remember the breeze and the rain in nature just loves to touch you. And, you know, it loves to interact with you. So if you interact with it, you might be able to get it to listen to you too and help you. So, and he says I'm too stubborn to listen. Bomber, do you want to come on and tell us about your storm experience? We would love to hear that. Bommy, it's going to be okay. You've got lots of friends and people who care about you. Yeah. You know what? It doesn't really freaking matter. Hi, Nessie. Hi, Nessie. You know what? This is Mercury retrograde. This kind of stuff is going to happen. I'm just used to this. I've seen enough Mercury retrogrades come and go. And I've seen the weirdest stuff. And it's always weird communications, you know, weird stuff with communications. Always a communications gap. Okay? But it's also a time when your communications can be deeper than ever. I've seen classes go better than ever during a Mercury retrograde. If they're not based strictly on money, and, you know, time is not that big of a deal, and you know, all of the other things surrounding Mercury. If you're willing to play with Mercury, once again, it's a nature being. Okay? If you're willing to play with him the way that he wants to be played with at this time, which is he's dancing backwards and making mischief. If you know that and you're willing to have a little fun, it won't hurt as much. It's only when we try to go against all of this that it hurts us, because we're going against the flow of energy. That always hurts. So if you can find some way to use it to go along with the flow of what's already going on, you can actually make all this work to your advantage. In fact, Mercury retrogrades are usually very good to me now. Oh yes, there will be some screw-ups. Oh yes, there will be some tricks and little things go on. There will be things go on that need to be addressed. However, they can also be very good. I know I dance backwards sometimes too, but it's usually when I've seen a really big freaking spider or something. Whoa. Well, sweetheart, you know what? I would absolutely love you, since this is the show that we're talking about storms. And can I, if you want to come tell your story, come tell your story. Well, spiders have a purpose too. I mean, they have a purpose too, but you know, when I see an extremely big one, that I am taken aback. I got to admit, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie about that. you know, because they can bite. I'm always backwards. You know what? That's another thing about Mercury retrograde I want to say. Mercury retrograde is so cool in this regard for people who are normally having a hard time. You get to watch everybody else skimp out at this time. Everybody else is having issues, and you're there going, ah, welcome to my world. I have a friend he says he has so many planets in retrograde at his birth, in his birth chart, that honestly, he doesn't even notice Mercury retrograde. Doesn't even seem like anything different, but it is kind of interesting to watch other people try and deal with it. So, you know, if you are coming on, you don't have to, but you know, it would be nice to hear your story because it's a perfect story about what I was talking about. And if you're not, can I tell your story? Would that be okay? But I'd rather you tell it because it's a beautiful story. It really is a beautiful story, Bomber. Sometimes telling your story makes you feel better, though. And you know, we're your friends. Oh, thank you. My blinky top hat. Thank you. Yeah, I wore that for Halloween. You're going to see some other stuff, too. Yeah, you know. Hi. Hey, how you doing, Ken? And well, thank you. I try. I'm going to try and wear a cool hat every time or something interesting so you have something visual to look at besides just me. I'm going to try and get some decorations and kind of have a set going here. That would be nice. I haven't quite done all that yet. No, I don't think they will. I think everybody needs to hear. You guys can handle Bombers being emotional, right? Yeah, I think you can. I think we can, dear. It's no problem. Go ahead and be emotional. Don't be afraid. No, if you look here, there isn't going to be anybody hurting you because we're here. We're your friends. Right. We're right there with you. And he's right. We're here with you. We're here for you. One of the reasons I do the stream this way to have you come on and do your stories is because it helps to tell your story. Not only does it help you, but it helps other people. It helps them see that their stories are valid too. I mean, it's like it validates other people's stories, other things that have happened to people. So it's not just you. This is for everybody. And, you know, I look at the shows that I saw and the stories I heard, and being able to tell my story was a wonderful thing. It was so helpful. And realizing in some cases, I didn't even know what happened to me until I heard somebody else's story. And it shed light on what happened to me. So, you know, it's important for us to share our stories. It's one of the reasons I'm doing this stream the way I am. That I'm making the chat because I go to a lot of streams where there's, you know, some folks chatting and then there's a subject, but Bomber has decided to come in, so hey, this is great. Yeah, you don't need to have your picture. You just need to turn YouTube down so there's no echo. And Bomber, you're on. Come on, our sweet Canadian lass.
Can you hear me all right?
Oh, you sound perfect over here. Everybody hear? Do storms attract sprites? You know what? Yeah, I would say so. That's my opinion, though. I guess there might be other ones. There's our girl. We can't hear you now, dear. Are you talking now? You might have muted yourself.
No, I'm here.
Okay, dear, you have the floor. Please tell us your story. It's a beautiful story.
Okay. I'm not sure where to start, but I'll just say that I'm kind of going through, I'll say my darkest hour. I'll put it that way. And I haven't been feeling very strong. And I wasn't strong before this. I didn't feel. But things got heavier. My plate got heavier and heavier. And I wasn't eating, and I wasn't sleeping, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And I was already struggling with that before, with being ill, because most of you probably don't realize I am ill. I'm dealing with some illnesses, and that's just the way it is. And I fight that, and I don't usually share that, but I'm starting to, because if it helps you to understand, then, maybe it'll help anybody that's also going through that to feel not so alone. And it really sucks to feel alone. And I have felt alone. So anyway, heavy plate, heavier. And I no longer was myself. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And my face wasn't me. I wasn't myself. And shaking, panic attacks all the time. I won't go into all of that, but I was really hit my lowest low for the darkest hour. And I had friends who messaged online, people who only know me online. And I'm so grateful for them. You know who you are. If that was you, I'm grateful. They sent their guides. Their guides came to them and told them that I needed somebody, that I needed help. Strangers online, people who I don't see a lot in the chats, out of nowhere said, I got a message for you. My guides called for backup. My guides called for backup. And they came through. So, Friday. God, it was hot. It's fall here, and I'm in Canada. And that's, it's gonna snow soon. But Friday was hot. It was like 28 degrees and sunny. I don't know what that is in American, but it was hot as balls here.
It was very warm here, yes.
And you know, it felt like summer. I could have gone swimming if if my body could have gotten me to the woods. But I haven't been able to get to the woods because my body was shutting down. Sorry. And I need to get to the woods. I need to be in the woods. I
Welcome,
need to get
Great
to the
Lakes.
woods. Hi, Great Lakes. I see you. So some friends who I don't know contacted me and said they're sending in help. And I thought, well, good fucking luck. Because I don't know how anything's gonna fix this. I could feel arms, I could feel hands around my neck choking me. Like somebody was reaching into my heart, grabbing it, trying to pull it out. And I sat late on the couch on this hot day that came out of nowhere. And I thought, well, I'll greet them if they're here. She says he's here. I greet them. I'm like, good luck. Good luck. Do your best. I don't know. Whatever you got. I'm here and I'm open to it. And I sat here on my tablet and I was playing my little fish game. And just then a warning came up. A tornado warning came up. And it said to take cover. And I got up and I took off my pajamas. And I put on a tank top and shorts. And I walked out barefoot. And I felt for the energy because I'm a storm person and I need to be in the storms. When it rains, I'm in the rain. I have a little neighbor friend next door. He's 8. We swim together. I've taught him to swim and give him security when we're in the river. So we can fool around in the river and he knows I'm right close by. So if he needs to grab me, I'm there. And when it rains, we go and play in the rain. And we create thunder. So we say, we bring the thunder. So I went outside. They're right next door. He said, what are you doing? I was like, come. We're getting a tornado. Everybody started saying, oh, there's a warning. Everybody's devices started going off. There's a tornado coming. And I could feel it. I could feel where it was coming from. I could feel it. Oh, it was so good. I could barely walk. So drained. But I could feel it. And I headed for the river park. And it started to rain. And I looked up, and in the clear blue skies over towards the river park, there was dark, dark, dark clouds coming in. And my little neighbor friend, he was so excited because it's fall. You know, these are our summer storms and spring storms that, you know, we get to play in. And I don't know, I guess we thought that was it, but we do get some nice fall storms here. I just didn't expect this one. It came out of nowhere. And started raining. And as it started, the rain got heavier, more intense. And he said, I think we should go back now. I said, how come, And he said, well, I think the tornado is going to hit. And I told him, he said, I told him I'm going to stay. And he said, you're going to stay. Do you have a death wish? I said, no, but I'm not afraid. He said, how are you not afraid of a tornado? I said, if I'm going to die, I think the greatest way to die would be in a tornado. And he looked at me funny. I said, just imagine, you get to fly. Just before you die, you get to fly. Imagine the last thing that you do is being able to fly with no help. And he understood my reasoning, and he stayed with me. And the storm came in. And it got stronger, stronger. And the wind and the rain, it was amazing. And he had his rubber boots on, and I said, hon, take your rubber boots off. He said, why? And I said, so you can ground the rubbers. You're not feeling the energy coming from the ground. It's so electric right now. I can feel it coming up through my feet and coming into my soul and spirit. I said, take your rubber boots off. He was hesitant, but he saw how it was helping me. I think he could feel it from me. So he took his boots off. And the rain at this point was just pouring down. It was just phenomenal. And those clouds coming in. Oh. And he said something, but I didn't hear what he said because the rain was so loud. But I guess he said he was going to take his shoes back to the house. Because I helped him take his boots off, and then he ran to the house. Oh, and just standing there alone. I walked towards the river where I could feel I was right in the path. And I opened my arms up to the sky. And I let it beat down on me. And I let it connect. I felt the connection from the ground to the sky. And I felt it flowing all through me and cleansing my insides. So now I'm in the river park, in the grass, barefoot. Then I'm standing there under the rain. And it starts beating down giant chunks of ice. And I don't mean little bits of the white hail. I mean big chunks of clear glass ice were coming down and pelting me. And it was fucking amazing. I couldn't think of anything else. Nothing else was on my mind. There was nothing, not a thought, not a feeling, anything else except being in this moment, in this storm, and letting it cleanse my soul. Oh, it was so intense. It was exhilarating. And I wasn't afraid. I turned around, and here he was coming, my little friend. He was running up the sidewalk towards me, screaming, "B! It's raining ice! It's raining ice!" And in that moment, right, I turned around. I was like, "Come!" I said, "Come! Look at this! Feel it!" And I turned, and this lightning bolt hit right close to us, right by the river. We were right by the river, and it hit way too close. And I felt then that, okay, we've this was my, I didn't feel safe having him there, and uh he might have saved my life, actually, showing up in that moment, because I would not have walked away. I wouldn't have left if it weren't for him. But he screamed and he ran to the house because it was really close, that lightning bolt. And we went back to the house, and I mean, this storm was so intense. We got to the house, and his mom was sitting on the porch. She said not long later, she got a message saying a tornado had hit down. A tornado had touched in our village. And her son goes, "Yeah, Mom, we already know, we were in it." Yeah, buddy, we were. We were in it. And I highly recommend it to anybody who needs their soul cleansed. It was exactly what I needed. And Jem, if you're listening, now or later, tell them I said thank you. And Denali Princess, if you're listening, please tell them I said thank you. You all and my neighbor saved my life.
It's a beautiful story, Bomber. And I'm glad that they were there for you. And I have to say, I have had similar experiences to that. And I have heard similar experiences. And I was just saying before you came, one of the things that a storm does and is meant to do is to cleanse negative energy.
Yes. So much, so much. You know, you can feel it. People look at me funny in a storm because I go out in every storm. If there's a storm, I'm out there. Snow, rain,
Well,
whatever. I'm out there. And
I know they think I'm gonna. I had neighbors who thought I was nuts. You better get in. You could be hit by lightning. Nah, lightning isn't gonna hurt me.
yeah, no. I mean, it could, but if it does, you're probably not going to make it, and you won't feel the pain. And
Well,
if you do make it, it's a fun story to tell. You know, hey, I was
here's
hit by lightning.
here's a funny thing. Guess what? If you get hit by lightning, you live. You're an instant shaman. But if you get hit by lightning and die, you're an instant shaman.
Right.
You're a dead instant shaman.
That's the thing that people who have not died don't realize, that there's
Well,
no pain in the, there's no, when you get to the other side, you're not over there feeling bruises or scrapes or cuts or going, oh, I was just hit by
you
this,
don't
or
have any
this
of that
hurts.
stuff.
None of that. So,
You're perfect.
there's no reason to fear death at all. And I don't fear death. Um, because I've experienced it, and it gave me some peace of mind that it was a curse and a blessing, really. But um, I'll share that sometime with you. But I don't fear death, and that puts me at risk maybe for some things, because I put myself in some situations that most people wouldn't. And even that evening walking to the river, I'm walking down the sidewalk, and we live on the main street. So I'm walking down the sidewalk barefoot in a tank top and shorts, and people are panicking because all of their devices are going off saying a tornado is going to hit, take cover. And here I am walking to where I'm walking towards the path of the tornado, and just free, just so free. I felt this freedom inside that I had nothing to lose. You know, I had nothing to lose.
You
And
know,
yeah,
you're the daughter, so you're gonna be okay. And I hate to tell you this, but I think
you
for
don't hate to tell me stuff,
I
Mama
don't hate to
D.
tell
You
you
say
anything.
you say
I
I
love to
hate to
tell you.
tell you this, but and then you follow that up with something that I know that that you're so happy to be able to tell
Uh,
me. So go ahead and you tell me.
yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, dear, but you know what? The shaman life chose you, I think. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Uh-huh. Have to tell you that. I think the shaman life is choosing you because once again, it sounds a lot like the stuff being very sick, finding out storms are actually for healing and clearing, and having a whole bunch of helpers, not just one. I mean, really, you need a tribe when you're going through this. You need a tribe.
I
We
felt that.
are your tribe,
Yeah.
okay? We're your tribe. We're we're here. Now, see somebody you don't even know that well.
Yeah. Murray got that right there. Well, not afraid to die, but maybe living is harder. You know, that's
Better.
and like, oh gosh, especially right now, everything is so heavy for so many people, that when trauma happens, you know, it feels that much more intense. Hello, Belle, my darling. It feels that much more intense. And I'm sorry if I wasn't following the chat there above, but hello to anybody who said hello to me and I
Well,
missed it. You know, everything, our plates are heavy. There's toxicity all around us, and we can't seem to get away with it or from it. And, you know, you can give as much love as you want, as much love as you think you have to give, and then maybe more. And it doesn't mean that everybody's going to give that back. So be mindful of that. Something I came back from this storm feeling, this awakening and an awareness that number one, I need to be more mindful about who I promote, who I support, who I give my energy to. My circle, my circle needs to be tighter because I give my love too freely. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And you know, I can't change that part. I think I've always worn my heart on my sleeve.
Bomber, honestly, that is the way empaths frequently do. I'm sorry. It's just, you know, uh, and we love easily and usually wrongly. A lot of times we'll love the wrong people.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, right?
Um,
We know. Like if you're aware, if you're aware of your um you know, you get the messages, you get the your instincts, your sixth sense. Connect and be in tune with your sixth sense. Your guides, they'll tell you. You'll see the red flags. But when you love so freely, you forgive so easily, and you let those red flags pass and you think, oh, it's just this or it's just that or this is just who they are, or you know, you
you're very forgiving and you're very understanding because you yourself have not been understood. And you know how that feels. You know how it feels to not be accepted as you are and for who you are. And you really don't want to do that to another human being. Don't want to risk that.
I never ever want to hurt another soul in any way or form. So anybody who's listening, if you've ever felt wronged by me, it was never my intention to hurt you. I'm only here to share the truth. and to love.
You don't
That's
want to hurt somebody. If you're an empath, you're hurting yourself. You know you're going to hurt yourself. And that's why you can't do it. You have trouble doing it. You have trouble laying down the law too. You have trouble setting boundaries because you don't want to risk hurting anybody.
But you know what this storm did? This storm woke me the hell up. I came home and man, I just, all these images started coming up into my mind, thoughts and ideas and things that kind of gave me hope. And I have not felt hope in a while. And they were interesting ideas. And I was like, wow, okay, I could do that. I guess I could do that. I just, you know, it made me realize a lot. And, you know, there's things that really don't matter. Things are just a distraction that feel in the moment that they're a big deal. And
I
but
totally
as
agree.
humans, this is, you know, we get caught in these moments. But like your spirit, your soul, like it knows better. It knows better. And if you can connect to your soul and your guides, your ancestors, whatever you believe in, they'll remind you. They'll help remind you. As humans, you know, we must forgive ourselves because to err is human. That's just the way it is. If
Yes.
we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. This is how we learn, and it's so important for us to learn our lessons. We must learn our lessons. The things that are distracting us from learning our lessons, push them aside. They don't matter. You know, we can't give our energy to things that are distractions from our lessons and
Yeah.
that are going that might prevent
I
us
agree.
from sharing our love, because we're here to learn to love unconditionally and to be loved, to learn and to teach. And everything else is a distraction. Don't be distracted. I was distracted. We are distracted. We get distracted. It's so easy. We're human and it's going to happen. But we need to remind ourselves and we need to remind each other. And this is why it's important. Community is important. It's important to have that circle that we can remind each other. And uh,
That's what I'm here for. This is what this stream is. This is exactly what I wanted. You guys are giving me exactly what I always wanted. I just want you to know that. I always wanted this. I always wanted this for me and people like me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
thank you, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on and sharing that. That just exactly goes with what we were talking about tonight. Exactly. I knew it would. I knew it would, baby. Look, you got all kinds of backup, all kinds of friends, all kinds of love coming at you. It's going to be okay. We'll get through this, all of us together. We're a tribe.
It's so hard, Mama. Like when, you know, when you're lost in the moment of the pain and all the distractions and the hatred and the judgment, you know, people throw judgment and hatred about things they don't even know the truth about, and um it doesn't matter. None of it matters. You know, the and it comes from pain. I'm thinking it comes from pain from for themselves, but um they don't realize that the effect that that has on the people that they're throwing that at. And um I just, sorry, it's hard to keep my thoughts here,
I've
but
been there many times, many, many times. And that's why I keep thinking The shamanic life chose you. It's choosing you. You are choosing it too, because it's home. If nature is your home,
Yes, nature is my home.
nature speaks to you and you speak to it.
It's where I feel at home, and I don't feel at home anywhere other than the forest or in the river. It I, I just feel completely out of sorts when I'm away from
When I'm
nature.
away too long, yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
get that.
like with all the stress of everything that's happened, I had a death in the family, a, a dear family member, and and then there was all this other crap that went on that I'm sure many of you know about. We won't get into it because it really doesn't matter. Okay, well, just release all that into the universe and it can go fuck itself, okay? Um, but when things get that ugly, it doesn't matter what your soul knows at that point because you're human and you forget. You forget, and you don't want to put any of that toxicity out on under other people. So for myself, I shouldn't say you, meaning me. uh, Sometimes I say
I
we for me
understand.
too. We don't want to put that out on people, um, and so for myself, I recluse, I close down, and I disconnect, and um, especially when it gets to the point where you don't know who to trust, and you don't know who you can talk to, and you don't want to burden anybody or hurt anybody. Um, you know, it's it feels like self-preservation, but the truth is, it's really not healthy because you need that circle, you need your community.
You
And
need
I
your community.
I
Being
felt that
a recluse.
I felt that I had lost my community. I felt my whole foundation crumbling, and um I just didn't know. I didn't I didn't know if there was anybody left you know, that I could talk to. Excuse me. And people started reaching out to me. I gotta say, you people, you people, as Don Sherry says,
Hi, Mister. Hi,
if
everybody who came in. I didn't want to interrupt Bomber. She was going through a very emotional story that about something very personal, and it was a beautiful story. And I just couldn't bear to interrupt her. But hello, everybody that came in, and I'm glad to have you here. And if you have a story that you would also want to share about this, here's the link. You just hit this, turn down your YouTube, come into, it'll send you right into backstage. And you can also share your story, just like Bomber is sharing her story. Bomber, that was an amazing, amazing story. And if you have more to share, keep going, because
well, you people who
uh,
contacted me,
everybody, all the chat is with you. They're all with you, dear.
thank you. You people who contacted me privately and showed me love and support. Um, your words, when I tell you that I appreciate them, that they meant so much, I mean that from the deepest part of my soul, that you you were part of that storm. You were part of my next door neighbor's kid. You were part of these strangers' spirit guides. You were part of my soul family that helped to save my life. I just want you to know that because people don't share that often enough. When somebody's touched your life or saved your life or have these huge impacts, um, share that, honor them and share that.
And
And
honor yourself when you are the
yeah,
superhero.
yeah, honor yourself.
Because
Yes.
so many times we are the superhero and we don't acknowledge that and we feel drained and wonder why. And one of my teachers said, okay, well, then what superhero thing have you done that you're not acknowledging, that you're not.
Right. What is your superpower? What is your superpower? Everybody right now, drop your superpower in the chat. Do it. Drop your superpower. You
What do
all
you
have a
think your superpower?
superpower.
That's a good idea. What do
You
you think
all
your
have a
superpower
superpower.
is?
What is it? Think about it. It could be
Everybody's
anything.
got something. Everybody's
Yes.
got something they do better than anything else or
Yep.
anyone else, around them,
Yep.
or something that's just so easy for you that's so hard for other people. And
Yeah.
that is usually the very thing that we don't even acknowledge because it's so
Yeah.
easy for us.
You may not even realize what your superpower is. It might take somebody else telling you that they can't do something, but they admire that you can do this thing, and you might not think anything of that, but in that moment, it might occur to you that is your superpower. Drop your superpower in the chat right now. Invisibility cloak. Nice. Humor. Oh, so important. Save lives. Common sense. Yes. Yes. That is so rare. Not my gumdrop. What? Not my gumdrop buttons. What? Sarcasm, Nessie. Oh, it is. It is. I'm not good with that. And I know you have that like a whip, and it's funny. Seeing all the puzzle pieces. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. These are excellent. These are excellent. And gosh, everybody has one. There's 20 people watching right now and listening and bonding with animals. Yeah. And everybody has one. And you don't just have one, you have many. You have many. Throw down multiple if you have them. Acknowledge them, honor them, appreciate them, and share them, especially with,
Being
the
super
people
dad,
in your circle. Yeah, being a super dad. Yeah, that is
that is
huge.
very important. Do you know that some people never even
Discerning.
know they're fathers?
That's right.
People
That's
are
right.
forgetting how to be fathers.
Yep.
They're
Discerning
forgetting
people's intentions
that.
immediately. Yes. Oh, if you can do that, man, that is,
If you are raising a kid these days, especially, you are doing a super task right there because it is
yeah,
not easy.
yep, yep,
Mm.
yep. And I think we're gonna see in a few years, all these dads start to step up, and it's gonna make a difference here in the quality of the humans that are around us. And dads have been stepping out for a while, but the more that they step up, the more they realize, put down their guard and just step up. We're going to see the humans being more solid with solid foundations. And um, oh, it's so important.
I feel like I'm one of the people that has got to get all you ready because when we do finally have disclosure and we do have others coming and we interact, you're going to have to be ready
Yeah.
for whatever happens. And one of our strengths is this connection we can have with the planet and with nature. And it's something that cities have cut off and science and technology have tried to cut off, I think, to a large extent.
Yeah.
And we need to get back to that because that is where we are strong. We are strong when we are one with the earth.
Yeah.
Remember that we come from the earth. We are made of the same thing. We are made of nature. We are strong when we stand with the earth. And she will strengthen us and send us things to help us because she is a nurturing mother.
Yes. Yes, she
Don't
is.
ever believe that they try to say things about storms like the wrath of nature, and that is never true. Never
No.
is that true.
Every
It's
storm
wrath.
holds so much power. These storms hold so much power, and if you believe in a higher power, the creator or God or whatever name you want to call source energy, um, it all has a purpose, and these storms are so cleansing, and they can dig deep down into your soul. Oh, Nessie, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Some days my
got you.
superpower is just being able to get out of bed.
Right.
Fucking yes.
You know who else said that? Freddie Mercury.
Oh boy, he's a good man.
Freddie Mercury said the
Good
same
man.
thing in a song. Do you remember?
I
Yeah.
don't remember lyrics. I'm so bad with lyrics.
We are the champions, my friend. I consider it a challenge to be part of the human race. Yeah.
Yep, yep,
And he
yes.
considered it a challenge. There's a line in there about I consider it a challenge to get up every day. And that's
Oh
Freddie
yeah, that's
Mercury.
right. That's right.
That whole song, We Are the Champions. It's about us too.
Yeah.
We are the champions.
And you know,
Because
we're all connected.
the rough stuff happen and we get through it. And we get
That's
through
right.
it with
Yeah.
each other too.
Yeah.
We help each other. And that's what humans
And we
really are.
must, yeah, that's right. And to shut yourself off from your circle is not, it's really not healthy, because we are one. We are all one. We're all connected. We need
I'll answer you.
to we need to realize that there's no this line that people draw. That's not a thing. This is all a distraction. We are one, and our actions affect everybody around us. Everybody. Um, yes, Mister, he knows. Everything is connected. Everything in this world has a purpose. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Hi, Brother Bear. Hello. The camera's not on, so you cannot say hello.
Oh, doggone. Yeah, we
My
can't
kitty,
kitty cat.
my kitty, he's gonna be 20 in a few months. Um, he's here to say hello, but we're
We
not on
can heal
camera.
ourselves. We can heal ourselves. Yes, everything can be healed. I think everything can be healed.
Yeah,
Even death, maybe. I'm still here. I died.
yeah, yeah,
Even death. I
yeah.
don't know.
We're here for a reason.
Yeah, it could
We're
be.
here for a reason. Everybody has a purpose here. If you're here, you
If
know,
you're here, you
you have a
bought a
purpose.
ticket, sweetheart. I hate to tell you, somehow you bought a ticket to come
Yeah,
here, to be here now, at
yeah,
a very pivotal time in the history of the human race. I
yeah.
don't know if you all realize, but you are here at one of the biggest junctures of humanity's evolvement, both spiritually and every other darn way.
Oh, I have goosebumps all over my
And
body.
is huge, and you are here with a front row ticket, with what we used to call in the old days the e-ticket. It's an e-ticket ride.
Yeah.
Back in Disneyland, the e-ticket was a really good ride, right?
Yeah, but you know, it's
Yeah.
so easy. It's easy to forget that with everything going on, with the apocalypse plague, with our own, a lot of us had heavy plates before the apocalypse plague even started. And we were, some of us were on the edge then and just trying desperately to hold it together. And then this plague hits. And I know for myself, this whole business with the thing, it didn't affect me at all, but what's affected me is the energy from everybody around who it is affecting. I can feel energy and so intensely, and the whole world has gone for a shit, it seems, and they're shitting on each other, and gosh, it's painful. And so if you're already having a hard time and struggling,
Oh
then
yeah.
all this crap is happening. Oh my Lord. Oh Lord, it's so you feel bogged down, and then you can so easily forget how important it is to connect, get out in the storm, get out in the forest, go hug a tree, go sit near the river. Hell, go sit in the river, even better, and find your circle and sit in your circle and connect with your circle, connect with your higher powers, whatever they may be. Whether you want to call source energy the creator, God, Muhammad, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're letting anything, the name of your God, um, get to you, that other people are calling it by other names, that's a distraction too, because there's one source energy. It's one. We are one. We are all connected.
Yes, we are.
Remember that.
We are. And even though I believe that the human race is scattered all throughout the galaxy, we have to remember we are made of the same stuff as the stars and the planets. Very same stuff that makes them makes us. We are all connected. Everything is connected. That is even a scientifically known thing.
Yeah, that's science. This is science.
This is actually science now.
Yeah.
They cannot
They're,
deny
they're,
it.
they're calling it new science, but it's only new science because us slow humans have taken so long to discover it. Um, but it's not new. This is old as time.
No, it's not new. As a matter of fact, the new age is old, very old, ancient. It's
Yeah, it's
ancient.
ancient.
Great Lakes, thanks for coming. I loved your comments. You had some great comments.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Great Lakes.
Thank you for your support. Great Lakes,
And
you've been great too. Thank you.
yeah, well,
Thank
Great
you.
Lakes.
Reaching out to me. Yeah.
You're up near me. If you're in the Great Lakes, I'm in Ohio.
Jenny,
Well,
my friend.
you know what? You two, who was it? Somebody wanted me to answer something. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, quantum physics, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and also Bruce Lipton. Bruce Lipton's another good one. He talks about things. And another one is Nassim Haramein, if you haven't heard of him. And one of my teachers was Drunvalo Melchizedek. He talks about the flower of life. That's another one. There are some very good teachers out there, and honestly, a lot of them are saying something very similar. We are connected. We are connected to the earth. We're connected to the planets. That's why astrology and everything else works. It's all connected. It's all part of, I'm going to give you a word here, holofractal reality. Holofractal. Hologram fractal is the idea behind that. It's all a fractal hologram, meaning not that it's fractured into pieces, but that every part of reality mirrors every other part of reality, and it's all connected. And there are iterations, bigger iterations and smaller iterations, bigger patterns and smaller patterns, but they're all part of the same pattern. Therefore, if you can read any part of the pattern, you can see the whole pattern. That is why when you read the cards, they will fall in a pattern. And that is why it can reflect the other parts of the pattern. And astrology the same way. That's on a macro level. That is my TOE, my theory of everything, my big toe. Is we are connected because we are part of a pattern. Everything's part of the same pattern. It's holofractal.
Kimberly's
Okay.
making a great point here. What the bleep do we know? If you haven't watched that, highly recommend it. I
Yep.
bought it years and years ago. It was sitting in a discount bin, and I had already watched it. A friend showed it to me,
Night,
and
Annie.
gosh, that's such a great movie. Quantum
Thanks for coming.
Mechanics. Yeah, good night, Annie.
And
You're so
numerology
sweet. Thank
too.
you.
Numerology. Oh, yeah. Talking about concurrent universes. Yeah.
And it's
Simultaneously.
difficult. If you're listening right now and you're struggling to understand what we're talking about, listen, sit still and just be here with us because it's so complicated. It seems complicated, but the more you listen, and there's certain like watch what the bleep do you know. It'll help you to understand and watch it a few times, and
That's my
something is
mouth.
going to click. Something is going to click, and once it clicks, it's your soul that's going to connect you and help
Right.
you to understand. This isn't going to be your mind. Your mind is fact, okay? We're distracted by everything. Connect to your soul and feel the resonance that when you're learning about this, you will connect to this because it's our makeup. It's what's going on. This is real. It's so intense and complicated that we'll never in our human form understand. But we can understand bits and pieces, and we can get a grasp enough on it to catch what the point is and what's going on. And the more you learn, the more you hear, the more you learn, and the more it'll resonate, the more it'll make sense. And it won't sound so much like right now, Mama D, she knows way more than I do. She's talking Mandarin to me right now. Like I have no idea what she's saying, but I get it. I get it. Look into it. Look into quantum mechanics, quantum, there's different words for it. Quantum,
There's
what are the,
resonance theory, there is quantum theory, there is
yeah,
all
yes,
kinds
quantum
of
theory.
new things that put the old science. You know what? There are people that I'm sure I spoke about this when I was in college, and that was a long time ago. Okay. Long time ago, decades ago. And let me
Yes,
tell you,
Ben,
I
yes.
told them then, and people thought I was crazy. I said, you're going to wake up one day and it's going to be quantum everything. Everything
Yep,
going to be quantum.
yep,
And sure enough, this happened.
yeah,
Okay. And there was other things too, because I could see this coming.
yeah,
Why? Because we are having to have our spirit. We have moved along very quickly technologically. Somehow we have got to get our spirits to follow, or we're going to
yeah,
look at,
yeah,
we got to have the spiritual maturity to be able to handle the technology, or look what happens.
yeah. We're in old no, what's it called? Ancient times we're living in, physically, in the sense that, we're not evolving as fast as what technology and everything is. And
And
um
technology is way outstripping the
yeah.
spirituality. And
But
without that understanding,
it's
look what happens. This is what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. But there's a yin and yang there, and it can get really complicated, but it's really important too to stay grounded and 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 to your roots, and your, like, don't hold on to things that don't serve you in the present and the future, but also don't let go of things that, um that when they say let go of the old ways, well, that's that needs to be maybe explained more. The old ways, there's a lot about old ways that are vital to hang on to, but there's a lot that needs to be let go in order to move forward. And like, avoid being distracted, all the distractions. The story is a distraction. Connect to your soul, ground yourself.
We all have
You're
stories.
Yeah, it'll resonate with you, when you listen to
That's
this.
what a lot of us are saying now. No, I don't need your story. I just need to know the basic thing that's going on, and we'll take care of that, because the whole story
Yeah.
doesn't matter anymore, because it's what happened in the past.
And gosh, does it feels like it does when you're trapped in that moment where you're drowning in the storyline of what's going on, and every little detail of it feels important, like you need to share that with somebody to make them understand. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Leave it in the past.
This is an
Connect to your soul.
illustration of everything that I try to tell people, Bomber.
Yeah,
It's
Mama D, I
just
love you. I
exactly
love
what I
you. I
try to
love
tell
you.
people too. This is what you got to do. You got to leave the pet. You got to be able to drop it. It's
Yeah.
hard because we're used to carrying it. Here's the other thing: no self-sacrifice. No. If you're thinking even for 1 minute that there's any point to self-sacrifice, you're still hurting somebody,
Yeah.
because you count as somebody. Okay. So if you think, now I have heard this more than once, of somebody saying, don't, whatever they need, take it from me, or take, or trade places with them, or whatever. That, no, no,
No.
that is not required. The universe does not require that of you. Don't, don't ask for that. In fact, do not ask for anything you don't want, even in jest. I can't even tell you how many times I've accidentally made a funny that wasn't funny because it showed up, and heard other people say the same thing they think they're just saying. I know somebody who, I'm not even going to say it, but it did happen. And she's like, oh my God, I know I did it. I know I did it. I said it, and was very emotional saying it. Don't say it. your voice. Your words are things. They become things. They're a vibration. They go out into the universe and make things.
Yeah, they create. They're so powerful. Your intentions are so, so powerful. And we forget. We forget, when you're listening to this and you're hearing this and it sounds lovely in the moment, forgive yourself for slipping on them too, because to err is human, and we're going to forget. It's going to happen. It's just so important that we remind each other to get back into our circle, get back into your circle, whatever your circle is, get back into it, connect, ground yourself. Nessie told me the other day, and I was lost in my fuck shit. And I've named before all this past 2 weeks, I named my heavy plate of garbage that's going on. I named it the fuck shit. It's my fuck shit, okay?
Mhm.
And I was lost in that the other day. And Nessie, Monster in the chat here, she's a dear friend of me. And I value her advice and opinion, and she just she tells it like it is. It doesn't matter if it's something I want to hear, or she knows she can tell me the truth, and that's just the way it is, and I appreciate it. She sees through the bullshit, and she can bring me back. And she said, have you walked have you grounded? Have you walked out to the woods? Something along those terms. Sorry, Ness, if I've forgotten the exact way, because I was so shaking in my mental state. But she asked me if I had gone to the forest or something along those lines, and I hadn't, because I couldn't get out, and it was such a mess. And anyway, then the storm happened. But connect with nature, ground yourself, and remind yourself that what we're saying right now, once you figure out how real this is for you, um, remember you're going to forget. Remember you're going to forget, and that's okay. Forgive yourself and bring yourself back in. The
Yeah,
story
always
doesn't matter.
forgive
The story
yourself
doesn't matter. It's
for everything. Just forgive yourself the same way as you forgive everybody else.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you forgive everybody else. Come on. Forgive yourself now. Now, here's a question for you. You're supposed to love others as you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, what then?
Right.
You got to love yourself.
Yep.
It doesn't say don't love yourself. It doesn't say love others more than you love yourself. Does it?
And and there's
Those
something
are words. Those are words that go back farther even than the Christian Bible.
yeah,
That
and people
way
mix them up, eh? People mix them up. People say that if you can't love yourself, you can't love others. That's so not true. It is so not true, because you can love everybody so dearly and not give yourself that same grace to love yourself. I know, because I do.
maybe the saying should be you can't love others properly
Well, it's just going to be
if you
different,
don't love
right?
yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you may be over loving them in a way. You may be overdoing it. You may be toxically doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can
So,
you can love in a way that it's damaging to yourself. So,
right.
and other
And
people
it's
might,
still damaging. You're
yeah,
still damaging
and
somebody. You count as
yeah, and that's right, you count. and
you
and
do
the thing
count.
is everybody around you might not even notice. They might not notice because you're loving them so much, and not so much like over, but you're loving them and how they need to be loved, and they are appreciating that, but you're still not giving yourself that same grace, um and that's hurting you. um you can go undetected. um it's more common than you may realize. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Well, we call her bomber for a reason, don't we? Truth
that's
bombs. Truth bombs.
how we do.
That's how we go here.
That's how we do.
This ain't even a train. This is the Woo spaceship right here.
This is the woo ship.
Yeah, this is the woo
Cruise ship.
ship.
Hop on board.
Hop on board. Yeah, just like what was that? People of the earth, can you hear me? Came a voice from the sky on a magical night. There's children of the sun. Yeah,
Yeah, buddy. Bim Jim. Look at his comment here. When
flying like
or
an
or
ancient silver seed to a new home in the sun.
when my brain gets stuck in a bad mode, I listen to my favorite music loud. And
That's vibrational therapy.
that's vibrational. That's right. Vibrational
It
frequency.
is. That's
And
exactly what that is.
and that is so imagine how that's affecting you. Um, Being out in a storm, that vibrational frequency and energy from the storm, and things like singing bowls, playing the singing bowls, wear your headphones, let that get into you, let that shake you. It needs to shake you from your core. You need to
Find,
shake your core and shake off all, like a dog shaking off its fleas, or a tree shaking off its leaves. You need to shake your core and get off what doesn't serve you anymore.
that perfect. Perfect. And honestly, I once again say there are files, there are videos that you can go to. They're vibrational healing videos
Yeah.
based on Rife frequencies, solfeggio scale, subliminals, binaural beats, all of
Yeah.
those things. I have
Yeah.
a bunch of them that I use on standby. And when I'm having trouble sleeping, I have some that I use for sleeping. I have you can find them that will help with every single problem you have. Please avail yourself of them. They're here. I mean, we have more at our fingertips than we ever had in history, I think,
Yes.
in known history. Now, there is an indication from remote viewing experiences that there have been other very high levels of civilization here on this planet.
Absolutely.
But, and we'll go into that here, and that's more woo. That's a different kind of woo. But we will go into that, okay?
Mama D, Portable Tree has a question here, and it's a really good
Portable
question.
tree. Well, thank you for modding, even though you're.
do you, do you think that the others who have more negative influence on yourself stop you from stop loving yourself? And I'll give my opinion on that, and then Mama D, you tell what you have to say. Um, do you think that the others who have more negative influence on yourself stop you from stop loving yourself? When it comes down to it, no. Now, yes, that's a complicated answer, okay, but or question, but it's yes and no. So yes, because we're human. So absolutely everything around us affects us. Everything around us affects us, and some things hurt. God, some things hurt. Um, we're affected by the energy. We're affected by people's words. You know that saying, sticks and stones? It's bullshit. Words will kill you. Words can kill you.
They
And
can.
your words can kill other
They can hurt
people,
you and they can
okay?
kill you. Yes, they can.
Your words can kill somebody else. So be mindful of your words. Always be mindful of your words and your intentions
Well,
and the energy you're putting out. But when I say no, it's harnessing the power and the awareness of the one, the source energy, and and connecting with your soul family, and reminding your human mind that you are all, sorry, my tummy's grumbling just now, but that you're all that, I don't know if that came up on the thing, but
no, you need to eat. You need to love yourself and eat something.
right. I know I'm practice what I preach, right? And I don't want to sound like I'm preaching. I'm just, but his question
No,
was
you
such,
know
or
what?
her, his or her. I don't, Portable Tree. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're a guy or girl, but it was a great question. The
It is
answer can
great.
be yes and no for that. Y-
I have the best
Absolutely can.
questions. I
It
you guys are
absolutely,
the best
sorry.
chat room ever.
Yeah, it absolutely can.
I have the best
But
guests ever because the guests are real and they're real people and they're you. They're absolutely real people having real lives. They're not just some ivory tower whoever. They're not just some I'm so learned and getting thousands of dollars because I have a gimmick. They are you people, real. I love it. It jazzes me like nothing else. Oh, hi, Orion Grace. Whoa! And Farmy came in and hi, everybody. I'm trying to also say hi to everybody as you come in. And once again, if you want to come in and also share your story, this is Bomber. She's been sharing a story that went right along perfect with what it's funny, the synchronicity of things.
I love that. That's the magic, right?
Perfectly.
That's the magic.
Fit. So, are you on standby? Oh, my goodness, we do have some people. Thank you for saying. Please, mods, help me. Help me know. Just, I'm not good yet at all of this. I'm not quite there yet.
You're forgiven.
Okay.
Howdy.
Everybody, you're on. Quantum Cover is coming in. Kimberly is coming in. Pharmacy's on standby. I don't see you. I can have up to 6 people in here.
I'm undercover.
Quantum Cover. You're smart, but okay.
Yeah, you know me and my sense of humor.
You are smart.
Oh, I know that voice.
Hello, Miss Bomber. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello,
Hello,
Mr.
Mama D.
Quantum Cover.
In our
Hi,
farm.
everyone.
I'm just going to ask Belle a question here. I don't want to read it out loud in case she's not comfortable with it, but I would like to bring that up if she's comfortable with it.
Yeah, and
So
Belle,
just tell us,
that
Belle.
is really, if you want to come in and talk about that, please.
Like, we'll
Do help you with that.
we'll have a little powwow around you.
Yes. And help you with it if you ever need help.
Yeah. Visualize us hugging you right
Thank
now.
you for telling us. I mean, sharing that with us, even just in chat. That's amazing that you did that. And
It's huge, and that's honoring your mother. That's honoring your soul, your spirit. And as horrible as this will sound, because some people will think, that whatever, it doesn't matter. You're also honoring him, and that's important too. And all of that's important. Yes, ask. Okay, Belle. So I'm going to read that. I did not love myself for a long time because I thought I was the cause of my mom's death. 20 years later, found out my stepdad killed her. Took a long time and a lot for me to forgive him. What do you guys think of that?
That I remember when she first told me that,
Whoa.
and man, that really, I spent a lot of time trying to put myself in that position.
Yeah.
that is a very hard thing. Yeah.
I can relate to that on some level. I'm not comfortable sharing the story that I can relate that on from, but I get that.
It's deep. It's so deep.
It is. But once again, here you go. You may think you're the only one. You're not.
That's right. When you think that you're alone and you think that you're going through the roughest time, this is why it's important that we all get together and connect, because no matter how dark your hour is, that's real. Everybody's going through their own
Everybody goes through a dark night. Yeah. A dark night of the soul. Everybody goes through it. Everybody goes through it more than once, many times even.
I've had many. And like I said in the private chat, I have a prime example of how words can almost kill you.
Exactly.
Please do tell.
Words can kill you.
Well,
look at Belle.
It was darn close. I will tell you.
Sorry, Kimberly, I hate to cut you off just before we move on. I just want to follow up with Belle's comment here. It has helped me become who I am and strive to be the best and loving person I can be, the positive side of it. And Belle, your energy shows through all through the universe, and I'm across the country, or not. I'm in another country from you. And when you came online, when I first came online and saw you and met you through the internet, I felt your energy. I can feel your soul, and you are a beautiful soul.
I'll
And it
second
really
that.
has,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've
And
heard it.
everybody loves you. Everybody loves
In
and
fact,
adores
I
you.
am so thrilled with everybody in here. I just love you all. You're so
I
great.
love you too.
Well, we love you too.
You're
I
you're
had to
just the
unmute 'cause I'm
greatest.
munching
I
peanut
feel
butter, but I
so
love you
happy
too.
right now. I'm gonna let my guests though speak. Go right ahead. I mean, I love this. I couldn't place this any better. Go on, please, Kimberly. You had something you were going to tell us.
Well, when I think it was BPD was talking about the whole quantum physics thing and how that they didn't understand that, and I'll maybe save that for another time because I've got like 4 sections in a book I could read about that. And then you brought up about how words can kill you, and I would probably say in my 54 years of life, I could probably count on all my fingers and toes about how many dark nights of the soul moments I've had. But one about 5 years ago almost literally rendered my human form off the face of this planet. Um, and I know I have to talk about it because
Yep. Let's smoke about it.
Regardless of what one of my friends would say right now, she would say this is an ego thing trying to get me to think about this person.
Doesn't matter.
Nope. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the term twin flame, but
Yeah,
you
we'll
are.
talk about them one day too. We will talk about them on the show one day too. We'll go into twin flames and all that.
Yeah, I met mine online
I did too.
in 2013. Now, we've never met in person. I didn't know he was married at the time. Let's just say shit happened. And a couple of very nasty people, shall I say a group of nasty people, all women who willfully admitted that they were black witches, got involved, went and told him that he and I were twin flames. The very next day, I got a nasty email from him that literally ripped my soul out. I collapsed physically. I got sick. I felt like my entire soul, energy, everything was gone. It's like I can't even explain how empty I felt. And he wrote me an email. Not only did he tell me to fuck off, but that he'd never have anything to do with me again. Little did I find out later that the woman he was married to, who, even though I don't like the term, was current to him, they're now divorced. They've been divorced for a year. He's not gotten in touch with me because he swore to me in the email he never would. And I know the real purpose of twin flames is to put you on your spiritual path. I've been doing that off and on for years. You know, I told you that last time I was on your show, Diana.
Mm-hmm.
And for months, I haven't thought about them. I've had the occasional dream, but I knew that it was really ego related until the one I had 2 nights ago. And I haven't been able to let go because I know this time it's not my ego. And the one I had 2 weeks ago was not my ego. And I don't know why, because part of me doesn't want that back. because I know I have a reason to be on my path again, because I'm back to studying paganism and Wicca and all the related nature paths and, other things. But I can't let go of this dream that I had 2 weeks ago, and I can't let go of the dream I had last night. And I sat here and I sent him energy. I don't care if he ever contacts me. I'm one way or the other. Whatever happens is whatever happens. It's, if we get back in touch, fine. If we don't, fine. I'm okay. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. But when that happened, and when I found out what those women did, because obviously I didn't tell him, but when that happened and when I found out how many people were involved.
Why can't people just leave things alone?
Well, I don't know. It's because I
know.
had no idea that they were fooling me. They were the ones who sort of told me about the whole twin flame thing, and then I found out more about it doing my own research and everything. But they had me going down a path where I thought they were there supporting me. Little did I know, behind the scenes, they were actually doing it behind my back. And they waited for the right moment when I was vulnerable.
Oh, don't you hate that? People who only buddy up to you so that they can get enough information to really kill you. And
yeah,
Can I
and
share?
I didn't care that they hurt me, and they I knew instinctively. Hell, I've been psychic since I was 4. I know they did it partly because they were jealous. God knows any other reason. Write a list. But that pain.
I have to bring up something.
Go right
There
ahead.
is this thing that I've stumbled across because I've seen stuff like this happen way too many times. There is a thing that they have labeled that these people have found to be just generally happening all over, and I see it happening over and over and over and over and over. So this is a real thing happening. And they have dubbed it the alien love bite. And I'm going to be talking about that too. And what it is these beings that love our pain, fear, and negative emotions.
They feed on it.
Feed on them. They will actually, you can feel love. You can be made to fall in love. There is actually ways to do that. And the feelings of falling in love are actually physiological and can be triggered. And these little snuts know how to do that. And they will actually make sure that that first there's an attraction, and maybe at first it's mutual, and then they will make sure that one party shuts off, then the other one pines, and both sides suffer. And that is what they do in order to get the maximum suffering. And we'll talk about that sometime and what you can do about that. But since I found out that this is a thing, this is really a thing that really is being done. And if you were something that fed off of negativity, you bet that would be one of the best, because what hurts more than unrequited love? What hurts more than the stuff surrounding that? That is the deepest to our core.
Oh, for sure. And especially if, someone understands that Twin Flames is not just about love, but it's about, essentially, it's really about being spiritually connected to someone without an explanation that goes above the bonds of what human love is.
Can we pause for just a second? I have a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
Could you just define the term twin flame so we're all on the same page?
Right,
and,
because that's
sure. I can give you the explanation I learned.
That'd be great.
It's a little bit long, but this is the easiest way to explain it. Before we incarnated to this planet as a human being, we were all part of the one, a singularity,
The soul family.
a soul family. In order for us to understand, and in order for the one, the all-encompassing, infinite God, source, call it what you want, to understand difference, to understand the differences between love and all the things that are duality, hot, cold, love, hate, up, down, north, south, east, west, everything on this planet is a duality. Just like blonde, black, white, black, red, green. Everything here is a duality. We were sent here as a duality. And every single one of us on this planet has a twin flame, because we are all meant to have that person to help us understand the differences. When people talk about twin flames saying, oh, we're this much alike and we're all this, no, your twin flame is your exact opposite, because it's all about balance and learning to balance in this world.
Gotcha.
Now, not everyone will recognize their twin flame, because you have to go through something that is called soul recognition. And those of us who are on a spiritual journey, if we've met our twin flame, we will understand what soul recognition is. It's, you meet this person and you can't explain why you feel so connected to them. And I don't mean soulmates, because soulmates is not a romantic thing. Soulmates is,
Although it can be,
but it's not.
but not necessarily.
Romantic, right? You guys are soulmates to me. My brother is a soulmate to me. People I meet on the street are soulmates to me, because we're like-minded souls. We are from the same monad or the same soul family tree. But your twin flame is literally the other half of you. It's like you came from.
I get it. So this is like, you're like two flames, each on the input side of a vortex, and you basically spin together, sort of, right?
Well, think of
like the yin and yang.
Right,
battery.
Right,
one of you is the positive pole.
Yeah, it's polarity.
One of you is the negative pole.
Which is the nature of the entire universe is based on.
Right, there you go.
And that goes scientifically, spiritual, chemical, physical, down the list.
Twin flames are quantum physics in its.
Yes.
Amazing how that goes. Huh?
If you understand quantum entanglement, that's twin flames.
Exactly.
And let's be clear, people get really confused by that concept, but like all you got to do is really understand the basic concept. It's pretty simple. Whatever you do over here is going to have an effect over there.
Right. It won't have the same effect, because, like I said, you're a positive and a negative.
It'll have the opposite effect, basically.
Facing the positive, and when the positive runs, it's pushing the negative away. So you're going like this. What you have to become is neutral. Which essentially what my teacher taught me, and he's on YouTube. His name is Kurt Johnson. His webpage and his YouTube page is called New World All-Star. He talks about it from the aspect of Zen. You have to be completely neutral, and you have to understand that the reason your twin flame showed up was not that you could be together and be happy and be in love and have all these wonderful soulmate things, because it's not soulmates. I do know people who are with their twin flame. I do know people who are married to them. I know people who aren't married to their twin flame, but they're together. But it's about creating the relationship with the one source, creating that singularity vibration within yourself, and being Zen. And when you have achieved that, God, I'm nowhere near that, although I've been there, that is when they tend to either come back, and if they don't come back, then then it doesn't mean that you haven't evolved. It just means that they're just not there yet. They're not ready to become
Yeah, they're not ready to
same
do
energy.
that
They're not
balancing act yet.
they're not vibing in the same energy. You
Okay.
can't make them vibe in the same energy. You just
Yeah,
have
and you
to
can't
do.
make it happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. So
Kimberly.
my other
Mhm.
Oh,
question.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Mama.
No, you go ahead.
All right. I was saying my other question was Dee was talking about these mischievous entities, I guess, that do this.
I call
Are
them
they
bat witches, but hey.
are they entities? Are they like so
They are
they basically do this to two people, right? So they're screwing up two people, not just one.
generally, I
Is that
think
what you're saying?
so. Maybe there might be more people involved. Yeah, there could.
Well, there were
Why
6
not?
people involved in
Okay.
my
Come
Well,
on. Yeah, I think they have experimented with more than 2 before.
okay. And so when you say they, what? I guess I'm trying to understand.
Who they is.
I'm trying to visualize the picture of how this all works. So I'm trying to understand who they is, or how they are they related to the two people usually, or they don't know those people at all? And they're
No,
just
I
playing
didn't
with
know
it?
the people that were involved.
No, these are creatures that eat sorrow, basically.
Okay.
That eat misery. That's what they feed on. And they are responsible for nudging us in that direction a lot of times. And I have run into them. They can mess with your mind. Unfortunately, they are strong telepaths, and they can get into your head, and they can mess with your thinking.
Okay.
And
That
they
makes
sense.
also
Your
can
energy.
mess with your physiology. And they have done this to the point of people killing themselves and
Okay.
committing crimes. And it's something that's hard to talk about, and it's something that's so shocking. But then, years ago, when I tried to tell people about the slavery rings, that was very shocking, and nobody wanted to talk about it. But this is going to have to come up eventually. But yeah, we're not alone.
No.
And some of the things that are sharing our headspace are not wholesome, and they're not just demons in the way that people think of demons. They are maybe in the way, it's hard to describe. They function like that, though. They sure do function like that.
Yeah, they kind of
Kimberly?
hijack your.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They function like what
uh,
you'd think a demon would be, but I don't think they're exactly what people think of. I think we've got our thinking wrong. I think a lot, but no, we got our thinking wrong here. We have this notion of what angels and devils and all that are, and we aren't even close.
Well, yeah,
Most
we
of us.
probably don't have accurate mind maps of what
No,
that.
not really.
Well, mine were actually.
Hi, Linda. Glad you could
Right.
come.
And I know Bomber had a question there, so maybe let her ask her question too.
Kimberly, sorry, how do you feel about multiple twin flames? What are your thoughts on that?
I do not think that that is possible because of the fact that you can't have duality. You can't have multiplicity. As my teacher explained it to me, we come here in a duality. There is no possible way to have more than one twin flame because you can't break off more than once. It's the same thing with, in the sense of how do you create balance between 3 or 4 people? A twin flame is simply that. It's 2. It always will be 2. The source created us to come down here as duality. Anyone who says there is multiple twin flames, one is a soulmate. To me, there's no possible way because I have never experienced what I experienced when I met mine. And I've had soulmate relationships.
Do you think it's possible that our spirits or our souls switch roles while we're here, that maybe somebody else steps in when it's not working out here, that it's on the other side being changed around and shifted like puzzle pieces, so that it will work out, that there's a shift in, I don't know how you would word that, but I'm
If
not
that
sure
was
how
the
to.
case, I'd be with my twin flame now, and I have not. It's been 7 years. If that was the case, I'd either be with a soulmate now or I'd be with my twin flame. And
Well,
trust me,
not necessarily though. Not necessarily, because you're still here. You're not done.
no. But the way I look at it is, with all the work that I have done and still continue to do, the way I look at it is, he's just not going to. I just explained that, Mr. Messier. It is duality. Source makes each of us come down here in the form of duality, not in multiples. Right? I see Diana nodding her head. She's agreeing with me. It's not possible to have multiples. Your
Cell
soul
division is
family,
different.
your soul family,
Well,
yes,
then you become, after that, they become soulmates, but not
exactly.
twin flame.
Exactly.
They're your soulmates, but they're not the twin flame.
No,
There's one twin flame.
there's only one.
And
Because
I have a weird story about a twin flame, but
I've got the way I met mine on Twitter. Now, before I even went on Twitter, I'd been on Facebook since 2007. I'd been on Instagram for I don't know how long. And my friends were going, get on Twitter, it's fun. Get on Twitter, it's fun. And I kept putting it off and kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And in February of 2013, I decided, what the hell? I got on Twitter, right? And in April of 2013, I get this message, because at that time I was still allowing notifications from people who followed me. I get this message saying, X person followed you. I went to their Twitter page. I took one look at them, and the first thing I saw when I looked at their pictures, I could see stories in his eyes that nobody had known but me. And I don't even know this person. How could I feel that for somebody I'd never met before? But instinctively, I knew those stories in his eyes were meant for me and me only. And I kind of forgot about it, and I let it go, and we didn't really interact very much. And because of that, I was going to delete him from my Twitter page. I had my hand on the mouse with the unfollow ready to go, and it's like something welled up from inside me and yelled at me like it was from across the room saying, don't do it. I was like, what the? And that's when the dreams started and everything else. That's when I started to wonder. That's when I began to wonder. Now, with the people who, shall we say, infiltrated what happened, they admitted, because a friend of mine was watching their pages for me, because I blocked them all, but a friend was spying on them for me and would send me screenshots of what they were saying. They admitted to being bad, evil black witches. All 6 of them admitted working together on a letter to send him. They sent it to every email of his that they had. They sent him everything that I had been told about twin flames and that I had been told about us together. My friend sent me screenshots and copies of it. And that's when I got the email from him. And when I found that out, like I'd said, I literally felt crushed. I felt like somebody took my chest, not only hit me with a sledgehammer, but something inside of me. I felt like every bone in my body just collapsed. I felt like my heart collapsed. I felt pain between my heart chakra and my solar plexus chakra. When you meet your twin flame and you end up having that kind of a division, you're going to feel it within your chakras. Typically, heart chakra, solar plexus, and sacral chakras are the most affected. I happen to have 2 of them because that has to do with the things that I guess you could call it the pain points that you have to deal with. And it's not necessarily from them or your past lives with them. It's your life lessons. For me, it was abandonment because I was abandoned by my family and my mother. It was not understanding love.
Boy, a lot of us have that one, let me tell you, Kim.
Yeah, well, I told you what last week when I was on your show about the experience of witnessing my mother's death. Right?
No, yeah.
My lessons were about abandonment. My lessons were about love and neglect. And I know they're not related to him. They're related to what is lacking in me. So when you started this whole topic tonight, and when Balmer was talking about what she was saying, I so totally resonated, because I think not only as women are we taught to put ourselves last, but if you're like me, hold on, I need a drink. But well,
Sure, you don't need something a little stronger?
it's water.
I want a drink. I'd like a drink. If you're offering a drink.
I got a ginger brandy over here. That's all I got over here.
I got some Jaeger in my freezer I've been trying to drink, and I just can't.
For me,
I'll take 2.
I can't even tolerate it. I can't tolerate alcohol at all. Like a shot if I'm sick, that's about it, right?
I've not been well, so I haven't been able to drink, but it's my goal to take up drinking again. So I'm just kidding for anybody taking that serious. But I bought alcohol.
Drinking.
I would
take
just
up drinking.
coffee
This guy
again.
you're talking about wasn't just evil, he was extremely controlled. Okay. And I think by the same shits that I'm talking about. But we'll talk about it. Like I said, we'll talk about it another time. Okay, go on, guys.
Well, like I was saying with what Balmer was talking about, and the whole thing about not loving ourselves, a lot of that, and I know men can identify with this too. If you've come from a background where you've been abused, neglected, taught that you don't matter, you don't know what love is.
Yeah.
You don't know how to teach yourself how to love yourself.
That's
So
right,
now
you didn't recognize it.
You've been around.
Reach out, looking for that love, hoping that love from someone else, regardless of whether it's a friend, a lover, another family member, we need that to fill us up because we don't know how to love.
Yeah.
And that is so hard. And so that's when what happened with me and my twin flame, when that happened, that was the biggest lesson for me is I'm empty.
Can I take us on a little sidetrack momentarily? Even if you think you didn't grow up being abused, you may find when you really look into it that you were more abused than you thought you were. And I got to tell you, that actually can be worse because you don't even recognize that there's a problem, and so you can't even try to fix it or address it.
Yeah.
And so I grew up in I'll just give you a very brief background. I grew up in a traditional Christian family. My parents were very loving. They cared about me, but there was some emotional abuse there that I didn't recognize was emotional abuse until many, 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 many years later. And then when I did, now when I see it going on, I actually recognize it, but I never recognized it before. And it really screwed me up for a lot of years. And it really screwed up my self-worth and self-value and my ability to love myself. So I just want to make that point about that.
That's
a great point.
There's a video. Do you remember the name of that video I shared with you, Bomber, a while back when we were talking about this stuff?
Yeah. Wait.
It was
The one with the questions that we did together?
It was like
I love that one. Yes.
It was like what, 30 or 40 questions? I think it was 30, right?
Yeah. Maybe about 30 probably.
It's a
I know we
psychology-based video. It's like 30 questions of, to see if you were abused, take the test, right? And I thought, oh man, if I answer like 2 of these, right? As yes, right?
yeah.
Then I'll
Excellent.
be surprised, right? And I really found, it was like 28 out of 30,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, now I got to rethink everything, and boy, did that really get the gears spinning.
Oh, it totally does. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I knew I was being abused. I knew I was being neglected. I knew all of that, and that's why I went.
Welcome back, Greg.
Finally got the courage to go talk to one of my teachers, and she also happened to be the police liaison for the school I was going to. Meaning she was a retired cop and was just there in case there was trouble in the school, so she could call the cops. Like if there was, oh gosh, some kid came to school with a knife and stuff. And I'm talking, this was in the 70s and 80s. Okay, people don't think that didn't happen back then. It happened, trust me.
Oh yeah.
But I reported my stepfather, and my mother didn't believe me. My entire family didn't believe me. And my mother wouldn't leave my stepfather because he was abusive to her too. And he had her convinced that she'd never be able to find a job and support her and my brother and myself without him, and sort of all that other kind of bullshit. But basically, I ended up in foster care for 2 years. My stepdad ended up doing jail time, and I ended up basically, once my mother died when I was 17, she was killed by a drunk driver. Pretty much my entire family on both sides abandoned me. So I've had no one, really. I've had to kind of figure out my entire life for myself. So when someone says to me, you've got to learn how to love yourself, how do you do that when you have nobody to teach you what love is? Then my twin flame comes along. Excuse me? Like lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. And last week I'd had about enough. And I started going, and then on top of it, we have the pandemic. Down the spiral. Thank goodness I knew when to stop myself and I didn't crash.
Like asking, are Girl Scout cookies made of real Girl Scouts? Come on.
Kimberly, sorry to interrupt here, but at the risk of getting lost and distracted in the story, are you hurting right now? By what you found out? By what you found out, all this that's come up.
The twin flame thing and all that?
Yeah, and the dreams and all that.
The dreams weren't painful. The dreams were more about... The dreams were like a forgiveness thing.
Yep, to help you process it.
Pardon?
To help you process it.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily about me forgiving him. It was about him forgiving himself for what he did to me, and him asking for my forgiveness, and for us to forget about that and just move on from here. And I kind of, in the dream, I brushed it aside and I said, well, we can't really forget. We can forgive and we can talk about it, but we don't really have to. Let's just start with a friendship because we never really had one of those either. And I think what was hurting me more was just the memory of what these people did.
Okay, and that's where I was getting at when I cut in, sorry. Because I can feel that from you, and I would like you to close your eyes. Yeah, take a sip and close your eyes. And anybody that's in the chat, if there's something that's bothering you right now, that's oh, there's an echo happening. If there's something that's bothering you that has just come to light, am I echoing for you guys too?
Yes, a little bit.
Not for me.
What's happening here?
Everybody turn their volume down. That might help.
Yeah, if you have your YouTube on, you need to.
My YouTube, I don't have that on at all.
If your volume is up, you need to turn it down. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so everybody who's there's something in your life that's hurting you, or that has just come to realization, and it's hurting, it's heavy. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to connect right now to your soul, deep down in your soul, not what's in your mind, not what's in your tummy, but what's in your heart. Okay? Visualize the light, the protective light. It's all around you. Nothing can come in that you don't allow, and nothing can come out that you don't allow. That white protective light around you is all encompassing. It's all the beauty that is your soul is in that light. Now, I want you to think about the thing that has come to your realization that's upsetting you, and see the beauty in this, that now you know. Now you know. And knowing is more than half the battle. Before you knew this, you were walking around blind, being hurt without knowing. You lose your power. But once you know, and it's brought to your attention, that gives you the power to release it. Release it into the universe, because it doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter. It's just a story. It's just a distraction. It doesn't matter. Release the energy that holds on you. Release it, because it doesn't matter. Put it out there. It's gone. What will be, will be. You have the power in you to get through that and past it. Release it. It's gone. It holds no power over you. It's the pain from that. It's going to hurt. Okay. Things hurt. We're human. It's going to hurt. But you don't want all that pain, that toxic energy in your white light. Release it out of your white light. It's not allowed in there. That space is your space. Visualize it being gone. Push it out. Don't get lost in the story. It's just a distraction. Connect to deep down inside of you. Connect to source. Your connection to earth, or to creator, or God, or whoever it is, whoever your higher power is.
Words of wisdom: don't get lost in the story.
That's right. Don't get lost in the story. It's a distraction.
Yes, Mary.
Exactly.
And thank them. Thank your higher powers. They're there with you. They're there to help you connect with them, and really, ask them to be there with you, and ask them to show you when you find this stuff out. It's not. I know it hurts. I know it's crushing. It's soul crushing. And it can make you forget.
I would even say don't get lost in the story and stay on your journey.
right?
Yeah, your
Get
path.
lost in the sauce, folks.
That's right. It's your path. This is
It's
all your
just
path.
sauce.
And
You're
it's
the
meant
meat in
to
that.
be. It's meant to be this way. And we forget here. We're supposed to forget, because if we knew it already, we wouldn't know it, or we would know it, but we wouldn't be able to go through it and actually learn it. I don't know how to explain that, but
Or he wouldn't keep repeating it, because this
Well-
is old news for me. This is just
right, exactly. But it's not anymore. It doesn't need to be, Kimberly. It doesn't need to
Yeah.
be.
We don't
This is
have
a-
to keep hitting it again and again. We don't have to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trust your
I know
path.
a few techniques to get rid of things too. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk
Trust the
about all this.
process. Trust the process. Trust in the path. Trust in the source or God or creator, great spirit, whoever your higher power is. Trust that they have your back.
Hey,
They're with you.
you can get lost in the university on the story, or you can get
Yep.
with the universe and get on your journey.
Yes, the journey. It's the journey, and
Yeah.
find the beauty in finding out this stuff that hurts us. Find the beauty in that, okay? At first we're going to be distracted by the pain and the details and the story, but all that doesn't matter. Go to the source, or go to the woods to find source, and
Yes.
find the beauty in it. Find the reason. There is a
And-
reason behind it.
And let it transform
is
you
great.
into what you
Yeah.
are.
Let
I
it
think I'm
grow.
going to have
Let
to
your
say something and my guests say it for
Because-
me. This is great.
Because it had those horrible effects on you. It was there to transform you. That's the idea.
Exactly.
That's the whole
Because
thing about
we're
the
here.
the trial by fire. It changes
And you came through.
everything.
And they're
And-
important.
Exactly.
These are important. It's important that this stuff happens. It's
Yeah.
important that we go through these hurting times. We're here to learn lessons that we're not aware of until after the fact.
Yep.
This is
This
a
is one of
master
them.
class, folks. This is a master class. And I'm going to say it again. This is a master class, not kindergarten that you are in. Why, if you want me to go farther on that someday, I will. But honestly, Earth, there are sages been telling us for years, Earth is a master class. You don't get baby lessons here if you're
Now-
doing this kind of thing.
This is School of Hard Knocks.
It is.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so
University,
everybody
you're working on your masters, okay? You're working on your mastery.
who is sitting in their white light and you're thinking about your situation, you've release it into the universe. Take a deep breath in through the nose and feel your belly come out. Not a shallow breath, so it's just in your chest. Take a deep breath so it goes into your belly. And then slowly, very slowly, exhale through your nose like you're letting air out of a balloon really slowly. Release it really slowly. As far out as you can. And then take another deep breath as deep as you can. Into your belly. Push it down into the lower part of your lungs. Deep. When you breathe in, you're letting in that white light into your soul, into your heart, into the deepest part. And then when you exhale, you're releasing that out of your bubble, out of your space, your white light, out into the universe. It'll handle it. Okay? Release that.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kim.
Now clap your hands. Clap your hands. I want you to clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands a few times. Clap really loud, really hard. Clap your hands. Really loud, really hard. Clap your hands. Yeah, really loud. Feel that. If you have sage, burn it. If you have
Wish I could.
incense,
My roommates are allergic.
if you have incense, burn it. If
you can't use sage, northern white cedar is a
I have
great
sage.
option.
yeah, burn it. Whatever you've got right now, burn it.
I've got
Open a window.
spray, so-
Open a window. or a
I
door.
always have sage.
You need a door or a window open to release that out there. It needs a space to go, but burn that and let that smoke cleanse and go out the window or the door, and
Yeah,
just let that be gone.
the smoke
You know
captures it,
what?
and then you release it out. That's
It
the
was.
idea.
This is such an interesting thing. Every other time that that anybody's ever offered anything like this, any kind of a process or thing like this, I have actually had something to get rid of. You know what? Not one single thing came to mind. I'm happy.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
content. I have
Same
to
here.
acknowledge this. I have to tell
This is
people
what
this.
I'm using because I can't use incense because my roommates are allergic.
Okay.
Smoke it if you got it.
Yeah, whatever you
Rah,
got.
rah, rah.
I make my own sprays.
So this is new for me. Gosh, I gotta tell you guys, this is really new. This has never happened before. That
So
I
who wants to talk
have
quantum
nothing
physics?
that I feel like I got to get rid of at this moment.
Mama D, you're sitting in your joy. You're in your light. It's beautiful.
Same here, dude.
It's
I have
brand
to
new.
agree. I'm not used to that at all. Like it's usually like
good.
all kinds of crap laying on me.
You can say what you want about 2020. It's been the best year of my life so far.
It is an awakening.
It's been tough, but it has definitely been evolution at max speed.
It's a beautiful tough though. This year is going to be extra tough for a reason, and the awakening is a real thing.
All I
It
can
really
say,
is.
yeah, the
It's a
2020
beautiful
vision.
trouble, is
No
what you're
shit,
saying, Bomber, and I
Sherlock.
like that.
2020 vision.
Yep, 2020 vision.
Absolutely. It's
What,
really, did we need this year or didn't we? Yes, we did.
oh my gosh, we did.
I just want to
did.
know why we didn't do this in 2000 instead of waiting 20
Right,
damn
exactly.
years.
Why did it
Come
take us
on.
20
Did we
years?
have to frick around for 20 years?
Yeah. God, we put things off, don't we?
Man, I thought I was a master procrastinator. Holy cow.
The
Same
angels
here.
were doing what they needed to do. They needed 20 years to kind of figure out how to put it all in place.
I was going to say,
everybody had to
yeah,
catch up.
you've got a great point there because without that 20 years of hell that I went through, none of this would go into perspective like it has. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's
a reason behind everything that we're sitting thinking like, why in the hell did this happen or what? There's a reason behind it all, and trust that. Just trust.
and you know what?
Trust
when you
in the
realize
source.
that and like really take that to heart, boy, I'll tell you what, it changes how the things that you think are so horrible in the moment that happen to you. It changes your perspective of that to like, instead of like, oh shit, why is this happening to me? What the frick? It changes it to like, oh, I wonder what this is going to turn into later.
Totally.
And then you actually start to see where it's going to transform to as you get better at tuning that intuition to it. It's really amazing. Like this is happening for me, like no shit, in the past like maybe 8 months or a year, this whole like totally different perspective about all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I still have my days where I'm like, what the you know.
Absolutely. We're human, and that's so important that when that happens, we forgive ourselves for that, and don't let others bring you down because they say things like, oh, oversensitive, or you're young, or they say names like snowflake or boomer, or whatever they want to call people these days. There's so many horrible names out there, but that's their own issues. Okay, honor your soul by accepting that you are human. We are all human. We're just we're energy sources in this vessel living a human life, but we're spirit. We're all spirit. And I would like to address something here because not everybody has
golden.
Yeah.
We got to find our way back to the garden.
Yes, we do.
Oh, who said that? Boy, that was back in the 60s, dudes.
In my
you think 20 years is a long time? You know how long I've been waiting? I was around for that song. No, we had all kinds of music like that. Crystal
good
Blue
too.
Persuasion. There was all kinds of songs. We were begging for it. We were saying, "Where is it? When is it coming?" But we couldn't get that pendulum to budge the other direction. We were really pushing it hard.
You know,
However,
and
it's up to us to push it that way. It had to be done outside of us. It's like that saying Pierre Desjardins says, "We're spiritual beings having a human experience." It wasn't up to us to push the pendulum the way we've ended up right now. It's that was out of our control.
Right. We didn't know that at the time.
We didn't want to accept it, right? Thank you so much, Namaste Bomber. That was very helpful.
Walalin.
You know, I think for me, all of this came up probably because I've been home since March. I was laid off. I've had all these ups and downs and just trying to figure out my place right now. And
we have all this time to think about it, and it perpetuates the distraction, right? Because now we have more time to think, and when we think too much, guess what happens? We get lost in the story.
This whole
and it's
thing
so easy to get lost in the story
tonight, right? But yeah, we get caught up in our little stories because that's our human selves. Essentially, it's those little bits and parts of our ego.
We get lost in that story, and we become our own victim in the process.
Yeah,
it's the ego.
Can I read something here? Yeah, can I read something here? 1976. It's Ben. He says, "I don't have a definite higher power either. What if you have nothing that you trust, as in this higher power?" Okay, from my experience, and obviously this won't be everybody's, but from my experience, it doesn't matter. Okay, that doesn't matter right now.
Do you have
because
trust in yourself?
You already are a part of Source. So that energy is already there, and you're either going to find it or it will happen at some point, whether it's now or later or whenever. But that you're a part of it, okay? And you wouldn't be here if you weren't part of it. So you don't need to go searching for something to believe in. Something will show you. Okay, you'll be shown. Look for the messages. There's messages everywhere. They will show you.
Yes,
your ancestors, your spirit guides, your just Source, however it is. Okay, like how I word it might be different for you. You'll be shown the path. Stay on path, and just if you can't trust other things or other sources, trust inside of you that gut instinct that you have. I believe it was you that said that you have the ability, your superpower is to be able to discern between people's intentions. I believe that was you. Where do you think that the source of that comes from? Trust in that, because you know that to be true. That is true.
Eckhart Tolle says that it all starts from within anyway. Right. If you don't go looking for something to believe in from outside of you, that is what the Abrahamic religions teach us, that God is out there. God is not out there.
God's within.
We all come from that. When I first started studying life coaching,
look within.
Right.
Yeah. Even if you just go.
If you find it not within you, then
even if you just go to the
find it without.
I am in you, and you are in me. I mean, it's literal.
I am that.
You're an extension of Source. You're another part of that whole thing. We're all part of the expression of the Creator, right? Like we're all part of that. That's why we're all one, and that's why we're part of the Creator, and the Creator is part of us. It's all one huge organism. basically.
That's right.
When I first
Within.
started
Yeah,
studying
really.
life coaching, and I wanted to be a spiritual life coach, and I still do, the first
Gee,
thing
I do
that,
too, and I think I'm getting there now.
yeah, I'm going to be studying my courses and stuff once I'm kind of back in the mental state ready to do it. But the first, I needed an email so I could sign up for these courses. And in a dream, the phrase "the infinite spark" came up, and that resonated with me because I knew what that meant. It meant, don't go looking for God out there, because that's what everybody else teaches. Where's the kingdom of heaven? Within.
It's
It's
within.
not up there. If you read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, he talks exactly about what that whole thing means. It's not about finding something out there, because you can't connect to something out there if you can't feel it within you. I'm going to teach you something Eckhart Tolle taught me. You guys ready? Sit and close your eyes. And anybody who happens to be of the pagan path or does chakra energy meditations will understand this. We all have this, but Eckhart Tolle taught me this, and I do this every night before I go to bed, and it reminds me that source is me. Close your eyes. I'm doing that for a reason, because the light's too bright for me. Close your eyes. I don't want you to think. I want you to feel. And I don't care where it starts, whether it starts in your feet, whether it starts in your shoulders or in your hands, but that's your auric field. Wherever you feel it, wherever you feel that tingling, let it run. Let it run up your arms and up to the top of your head, and let it flow back down all the way down to your feet, and let it flow back up. And if there's any physical pain you're holding, hold that energy there. Don't think about the energy, feel the energy, and feel it resonate and grow wider and wider and wider. And when you feel like it's just going to kind of stop, that's basically how wide your auric field is. Okay, who felt that?
I felt it.
Anybody else?
Yes.
That's source. That's your source energy. Now, as an empath,
We felt it.
good. As an empath, you can use that energy. And you want to use that energy to remind yourself that you are source. Right?
I'm going to lean
But
back.
you also want to learn how to control that energy, because you don't want, especially if you're an empath, you don't want your auric field running wild.
Linda and Mary both felt it too.
Running wild.
You don't, because that's where it gets dangerous, especially if you're an empath, because that's where you start sucking up other people's energy, and it infiltrates your own auric field and drags you down.
That energy is limitless, timeless, and boundless. So be careful how you use it and what you connect it to.
Oh, you guys. Gosh, this has been such a great night. I love it. I need a little break, though. My gosh. I need a break. The energy is so.
Well, the thing I learned about the work
that I've been on this for, and I'm enjoying it. I don't want to quit, but we're coming up on 2.5, 3 hours. We're probably going to have another 3 hours. One here.
Well, I will say that I have learned that the auric field has layers. and it's made up of your physical body, your mental body, or what Eckhart Tolle calls your pain body. That's where all your junk, all this stuff
your
we've been
pain
talking
body.
about lives, which is connected to your emotional body and your spiritual body. There's several layers to it. Essentially, your auric field is as far as your hands will reach.
And can I just back that up with a few things?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I see Mr. Misir says the energy runs on your intentions. And yes, that's right. You direct your intentions and guide all that energy. That's why people don't realize how powerful they are. All that energy is underneath where you direct your intentions. So direct them in a good space. Make sure you have good ethics behind your intentions, because if you don't, they're going to come back and frickin' burn your ass.
And the whole threefold law of witchcraft. What you send out, you get back.
And it comes back amplified because it's a very
Yes.
powerful energy force behind
And
it.
once again, there you go. Be careful what you say, because part
That's
of
right.
that,
Be
Yes.
Not just what
mindful.
you say,
Right
Diane.
back to the
Self-awareness.
you
words
say
thing.
stupid things sometimes. and
Self-awareness and
And I just-
mindfulness.
I just want to say that words thing about, sticks and stones will never harm you. That's a person's good intent to teach people not to let someone's negative words affect who you are. That was the intent of that. The problem is it gets perverted in the message, in the way it's said, and people don't think it through. And so they think that, oh, words can't hurt me. And then they're walking around being injured by these words because it goes right to your
Yeah.
heart. And guess what? When you look at the science of it, the same part of your brain that activates when you're physically hurt is the exact same part of your brain that activates when you're emotionally hurt. So guess what? Emotional pain is just the same as physical pain. It's the same brain center. It does the same trauma.
It's
And-
also
and
about
the
setting
worst part-
boundaries. That
Yes.
sticks and stones may break your bones.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
also about learning to set your boundaries. And
Yes.
you have to be a strong enough person to not only tell somebody you're not going to accept what they just said to you, but you're also of the right mind that you're not going to allow that into your world.
Yes, and that's very key. You're right. Boundaries is like one of the most important parts of that. You really need to set those boundaries, and don't just set them. You got to defend them. You got to watch
Yep.
it when somebody's coming into your boundary and recognize it and deal with that threat. It doesn't mean you have to attack them, but you have to recognize it for what it is and basically mitigate it.
Yep. Mentally and
And
spiritually.
if something's not working for you, if you're trying to put this into place and it's not working for you, then change something.
Yes,
Change it.
because you have the power to change it. You're the only person who can change it.
Yeah. You're on path. We get distracted. Get back on path. Don't
get
sit
back
in
the
don't
story.
sit in the mud puddle. The mud puddle will keep you there, and there's like a sinking, what's that, quicksand. You can get
Quicksand,
lost in
yeah.
that, and you're covered in mud, and it's hard to see the path when you're covered in mud. Clear your eyes, look around, find your path. And if you're with somebody who's stuck in their mud puddle and you're standing on the side and you're waiting for them, you need to decide, how long are you going to stand there waiting beside the mud puddle for that person to get out of the puddle and keep walking? Whether you walk the same path or you take different routes, it's important to stay on path.
Thank you for telling me, Belle.
Absolutely.
Thank you for telling me. Belle is coming in.
Miss Belle.
Oh, gee.
What's going on, dear?
Now
got
we're
Belle
definitely going to go
coming.
3 hours because
I will also say
I've got to get the unlimited plan, you guys. I'm going to set an intention that somehow that's going to happen, and I'm going to be able to have the unlimited because I need it.
Did we just create Captain Planet? There's 5 of us here. What's happened? Did we just put our rings together?
Yes, I think so.
And we just created Captain Planet?
I
Yep.
think
Well, let
I
me
think
see.
we
I'm
are
a fire
decoding something.
I'm water, or sorry, no, I'm earth. Pardon me. I'm an earth sign.
I'm probably
let me
fire. I'm not
Right.
gonna lie.
I'm Aquarius. I'm fire. I'm water.
You're
Water.
water. I'm
I'm an air sign, but let's be honest, y'all know I'm fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
I'm a fire.
I will say one thing: if you can't get out in nature, the other thing it's really helpful for me is go take a shower.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
And just-
yes. Can I say
Yes.
something on that?
And
Thank
just
you.
pretend you're
Miss Belle.
standing in the rain.
I'm
That's
glad
right.
you did too.
Yeah. So the water, we did a whole thing on Paranormal Portal about water and water quality. Water has memory. Water especially has memory of intentions and emotions.
Thank you.
So you can charge water positively and use it to your advantage, or you can be taking on the negative energy from water. And if you're taking that negative energy on, boy, will it screw you up. If you live in a city and you're drinking water supply that's recycled, that's been through the city, been through every evil emotion, murder, rape, all this kind of crazy crap that's going on in the city, and that water is being recycled back, you can't clean that out with any of the systems that they're trying to use to clean water with. They are not charging that water with good intent. And so what you're doing is consuming literally the emotional and spiritual shit of the city. And man, is that bad for you. So use clear water, use clean water, and yes, shower. If you have some crap stuck on you, boy, there's nothing like a shower to clear it. That water literally cleanses that energy off of you. It takes it off of you.
And use either sea salt or Himalayan pink salt.
Yes.
And if you can, put that in your body wash.
Yep.
And if you can, I haven't found one yet. I'm going to have to learn how to get crafty. But get a bag that you can hang off the shower and put crystals in it and let the water run through the crystals.
Yep.
Or if you can get a Himalayan salt bar.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the right name for it. There are shungite.
Shungite.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
Shungite is, I got shungite sitting right there with water. Yeah.
Shungite and also, well, there's I've looked at that shungite.
Can one of my mods spell shungite for me and put it on there so people can see them?
Shungite.
Because I'm getting tired. I'm going to have to take a break. You guys keep talking. You're giving me a fine show here. I got to take a quick break and get some water.
For a minute. I got to hit
No,
I'll be
right back.
Shungite, Tulakivi, and soapstone. They're all harmonizing.
Sorry, Kim, did you say shungite? Is it Shungite?
That's right. And there's also, and this one's hard to find. It's hang on, I gotta find it. Tulakivi, Tulikivi.
Okay, wait a second. What?
Tuli.
Yep.
Kivi. If you can't find that, you want to find soapstone. Black soapstone. And they are harmonizers. You will hold the soapstone or the Tulakivi in your left hand and the shungite in your right hand, and it balances your energies. You can also put it, shungite also helps EMF, so you can wear it in a necklace. You can get shungite discs that you can stick to your cell phone or stick on your computer.
Interesting.
Yep. If you can get shungite crystals, you can put them in like an essential oil spray and spray the area around your computer.
Oils are another powerful tool, by the way.
I used to work for a company here in Vancouver, and lucky enough for me, I got discounts on everything I bought, so I actually have a good supply of them. But that product I showed earlier, the Aura Cleanser, they make that. And it's made with holy water from France and a number of essential oils, and they put what's the word I'm looking for? They charge it specifically with like quantum harmonics.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I know the stuff you're talking about.
And there's the products were originally created by a very well-known astrologer whose name I can't remember right now, but he was originally from England and he's now in Australia, or I think he's passed away now. Michael something. Can't think of his last name, but
Yes, Great Lake Sasquatch. That's
yeah,
correct.
he worked a lot with Mr. Vogel, if you know who Vogel crystals are. So he learned all of the energy of crystals, and all of this company's products, their spiritual sprays, um, and all their essential oil blends are charged with these harmonic energies of all the crystals. And they're the only products I will ever buy, because I've tried all kinds of other essential oils and I do not get the same effect.
Can I just say
except,
something on
except
essential
for
oils?
these particular products.
Even better than the essential oils are the living plants and herbs. If you can be growing those in your house and having those directly available to you, both for health and immunity and for spiritual cleansing, those are really
Yeah.
powerful
I was
tools.
going to say you
The
can make
essential
your
oils
own.
are great. I mean, they're a great concentration of it and a great way to make it portable and carry it easily or manage it easily or infuse it into stuff easily. But really, man,
Convenience, yeah.
having those herbs, the whole plant itself, that whole plant has all of the spirit of the plant in it, not just the
And
distillate extraction.
you know,
Wish I
and
was
if
that
if
lucky.
you don't
I
have
live in an
access to
apartment.
this stuff, if you don't have access to this stuff, and you still want the effects, go into the woods, take off your shoes, and leave your electronics at home. Don't bring your phone, don't
Yes,
bring
ground
whatever.
out.
Take your shoes off and walk barefoot in the woods and go to a tree that calls you, and line up your back, line up your spine against the tree and stretch around and give a reverse hug like you're hugging the tree but from behind, and hold the
Yeah,
tree
with your shoulder blades.
and breathe in, do your deep breathing. Oh, it's magical. You know, you don't need to go out and buy things to do this. I'm poor as dirt, you know. But
Yeah, that's
if you have
part of why I
access to,
was. That's part
yeah,
of why I
if
was
you have,
going into that too, because it's it's some of these things can be really expensive, and there's a lot of
They
really
can be.
inexpensive solutions that'll get you there just as easily. And like Bomber saying, grounding is so important, and that's part of what you're doing when you take a shower or take a bath. You're grounding.
Yeah.
that's right.
There's
And
also
but
foods that will
especially
ground you as well.
yes, especially powerful though, that grounding in the woods with nature. There's been some scientific studies that the Schumann resonance and the sounds of nature actually reduce stress. Like there's some new like Journal of Medicine information coming out. Like
Yeah, there's a
if
study
it's coming
actually
out
about,
in mainstream garbage like that,
yeah,
that it's
then God
actually
knows what the actual truth.
yeah,
But we
yeah,
already know, anybody who knows the feeling, you know when you go in the woods, you can feel it. But one time, and okay, so I did mention earlier that I've been dealing with illnesses. Years ago, when I was working at the hardware, I was working probably 6 jobs actually at the time, but that was my
Okay.
full-time job. And
Keeper.
I ended up at the hospital. And I went to see my doctor because I was getting sicker. And when I came in, he said, "Oh my gosh," he said, "I can't believe you're here." He said, "I can believe it, but I can't believe, like, this is so strange." And my doctor's really a rational, serious science guy. And he's like, he said he was reading a study that day about trees and the effects they have on our depression and anxiety and our mental state, our well-being, our even our chemical makeup. So when he said when you
Whoops,
he said
excuse me. Oh, and my earthing pillowcase. There are now earthing products that can help you earth, by the way, which I have to have every time I do a broadcast, because I have to turn on the Wi-Fi, and I found out that I am very, very sensitive to Wi-Fi. So you can get products to help you connect to the earth. Just wanted to throw that in there.
yes.
And now you can
and-
get them fairly cheaply. They used to be a couple $100.
Yeah. Couple
Now $25. I got
couple of easy ones for that. You can get they're a silver lined sheet. They actually plug into your wall socket. They
Yeah,
plug
it's
into the
just-
ground of your wall socket.
That's
so you're
what this
sleeping on
thing
a
is
grounded
right here.
surface.
There's just a little plug right here. I don't know if you can see it.
That's
But
an awesome tool for sure. But let's not forget how important that natural connection is. So it's better if
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
out in nature.
Yeah,
I just want to stress
so
how
take
important
this out
that
with
is.
me to
it
the woods
really
right
so
now.
like there's really no true replacement for
There's no
that forest
substitute
walk.
for that. Yeah.
That's right. And, so my doctor had said that day that he had read this study that the trees release, and I'm gonna muck this up so you can Google it, research it. There's studies done that they either release a chemical that triggers a pheromone or the pheromone triggers a chemical. I think it's that the trees release a pheromone that triggers a chemical in us, and it's
Yes.
our the feel good chemical, which is I believe serotonin. Is that
Yes,
right, Farm?
Yep.
serotonin.
And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
it's like a natural antidepressant. So he actually prescribed me that day to go out into the woods, and he said the funny thing is he read that this morning. He had read that study that morning, and he said the first thing he thought of was me. When he read it, he thought of me, and there I was in the office, and I was actually the next. He read it, and then I came in
Next
the
person.
office. That I was the next patient in the office, and so he was shocked, and I was like, I told you the universe works in mysterious ways, and
Yeah.
he
So
laughs at me when I say that, but
so on that point, serotonin, melatonin, these are all part of the endocrine system, part of the hormonal system. These drive balance in our bodies. The endocrine system is super, 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 super sensitive. Okay.
How super
One
is that?
little super duper 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 super
Very
duper.
super?
Yes.
Everything? Okay.
Extremely, extremely much.
I wanted to get that just right.
All right. Yeah, it's super, super sensitive. And so toxins and chemicals can have negative effects on that. And you can have positive effects on that. Exposure to sunlight is a very powerful tool in that. And that helps drive cholecalciferol, melatonin, serotonin, and all those other regulating processes. Also, that exposure to sunlight is not just radiation on your skin. Every single cell in your body actually detects photons, and the sun puts out a very wide spectrum of different types of photons, everything that we can measure from the infrared to the ultraviolet, but it puts out frequencies other than that we probably haven't even studied yet. So expose yourself to sunlight, nature, water, ground, trees. All those pieces are so important. Boy, I'll tell you what, you spend a month focusing on that every day, you will be a different person, I promise you.
Yeah, but the sunlight is also the only place, other than ingesting certain foods, that we can create natural vitamin D. And that is essential for serotonin. If you
Yes.
live like me in the middle of a rainforest where you get, 3 to 4 good months of sun and the rest of the time cloudy, rainy, like it is here in British Columbia, take your vitamin D supplements. It's absolutely necessary.
yeah, and it's vitamin D3 specifically,
Yeah.
and I'll just add to that when you're taking vitamin D3 supplements, you want the liquid form, because the powder form, if you're using that, your
Yes.
body's not absorbing that, so you'll want the
Yes.
liquid capsules, and even better than the liquid capsules are the liquid drops. And if you look at the IU, the units per drop, pay attention to that. I had another doctor tell me that everybody in this part of the world, now you're all over the world, so I don't know exactly how things are for you, but in this part, I'm in Canada. In the spring, winter, and fall months, everybody who's healthy must be taking at least 2,000 IU of vitamin D3, and in the summer you will get it naturally. But for myself, because I have celiac disease and other issues going on with my health, I don't absorb vitamins and nutrients the way that a healthy person does. So
Yep.
I need to take at least 2 to 4,000 every single day all through the year. And what we've found doing tests is that I regularly test low for vitamin D. I can
Yes.
take up 6,000, 10,000 IU. So get your vitamins tested before you start taking them, and figure out where you're at, and play around with how much you need, and then get tested again
Yeah,
and figure out where you're at.
yeah. importantly, go and have
Very
yourself
important.
tested to make sure that you are actually at where you're supposed to be. Vitamin D, like anything else, you can take too much, you can take too
That's
little.
right.
Too much
Yep.
is even worse than too little, believe it or not. Too
Oh,
much will put
Yeah,
too
and
much will
without the
push you in
vitamin
the direction
K,
of cancer, right? And you need the vitamin K2 there. And let's not forget, vitamin D3 is a fat soluble vitamin, and that's why you find it in things like salmon and like cheeses and that kind of stuff. It's part of that whole equation. So make sure you're getting healthy fats. Make sure you're getting vitamin K2 so you can process it. And vitamin D3 ideally comes from the sun, but like Kimberly said and Bomber said, there are other sources.
Oh
Is
yeah,
is
eggs,
milk?
salmon, nuts.
Yes.
You
Nuts
know,
and seeds. Properly
it's
processed nuts and seeds.
preferably raw because you can always toast it. It's not that hard. Preferably raw nuts. That is. Another thing that's very helpful is
Either raw
your
or fermented.
if you can't eat salmon all the time. I mean, I eat 2 or 3 times a week, but I still take my omega-3s. And especially for us women, another essential fatty acid that's incredibly helpful for serotonin is evening primrose oil. They,
Yeah, and you can grow evening primrose very easily, and they're fun to grow.
and you
well,
know, there's a
And
direct correlation between your
Even
vitamin D and your mental health. Like if you're having
yes.
anxiety and depression, I can tell you firsthand because I struggle to keep my vitamin D up.
Yep.
That if I start having these anxiety attacks, I can just realize I'll just remember all of a sudden, oh shit, I haven't been taking my vitamin D, and I'll pump up the vitamin D, and it's almost it's less than 24 hours that I'll feel a
Yep.
difference for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Within
Yep.
hours, I'll feel a difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
And not just that, but your gut health plays a
Yep.
huge role. There's a direct correlation with your gut health and your
Yep.
mental health. So if you're on medications for your mental health and they're not working for you,
And
or
by the
you're
way,
having reactions
those
to
will
them,
affect your gut health too.
yes, they'll affect your gut health, and it's so important. I can't stress that enough with your gut health. You know, these medications and pills that we take, and they're pushed on us, told you don't need to.
Ask your
You weren't
doctor if
up,
this
you weren't
drug is right for you. Well,
right.
do you
You're
have a
not sick.
metaphorifracapril deficiency? I don't think so.
Right. You're not sick because you need what's in this pill.
You're not
Those
sick because
those
of a
pills
chemical
are
deficiency.
those
Right.
pills are masking the issue, and that's festering beneath. And you know what's going to happen
You're
if
gonna
you're
go back
sick
and buy
and you
more
take
pills if you
pills?
keep doing
Yep.
that.
You when you're
Oh,
sick and you take
I have
pills
all
for
that
this,
pharma, big pharma is
I,
about, all it is. Have you ever heard of them curing very much at all? No, you hear of them treating,
no. And if
treating
you
for
that's
this.
all it
and
ever
if you go
is
back to
treating. Now,
if you
Every
go
there
back to
are
single
people that
medicine
need
has to
that.
have a side effect that they give you another thing for. Because
and
it's all about what's the next buck, what's the next buck, what's
and
the
if
next
you go back to Hippocrates, he says, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food."
That's why
yeah.
I'm sitting here
That's the
And
drinking.
very core of
there's something
health.
there's something that happens with your body too. When you're sick, now I want you to visualize your house is your body, okay? And when you're sick, imagine there's a knock at the door and somebody's there to tell you there's something wrong. And it could be something like a pain in your gut, or or a shoulder pain, or a throat pain, or a
Yep.
heart pain, or a headache, or skin issues, or whatever. Imagine that knock on the door it's your body telling you there's something wrong. So then you go to the doctor and you say, listen, I had that knock on the door, and your doctor says, well, you need this pill, we're going to try this, we'll see if this works, go home and take it, and see me next time. So then you take this pill and you start having a reaction to the pill, or you start to feel better at first, but then you start feeling sick again. And guess what? Now you have another knock at the door, and maybe it's at the back door, or maybe that knock at the door
Enough.
is now a little bit stronger. And now
I'm
you
waiting
go to
for
the doctor
nothing
and
to
you
say.
say, listen, now I'm having this problem. Oh, yes, well, that's probably because of this. Well, let's now put you on this medication, or we'll up the strength of the medication. Well, guess what? That knock on the door It was a little tap kind of before, but now it's a louder knock. And then the next time it's a louder knock. And then it's a loud bang. And before you know it, the doors have been smashed open and your house is on fire and it's burning the fuck down. And guess what? You didn't need any of that shit.
Right. Because
Clear it all out.
Because all of that is masking the problem. We're addressing symptoms only, not the root cause of the problem. Go back to the root cause of the problem. We do it in plants. We go to the soil to look at what's going on. Do it in your body. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and you know, people are going to say about diabetes and things like that where they do need their insulin. There are some things that you do need medication, but guess what?
Information is there.
That's right. The information is out there. You can prevent this from happening,
and you can reverse it.
You can reverse it. You can reverse it.
The body is a self-healing
There's
system.
ways to reverse all this stuff, and they
support
don't
it with the right nutrition.
Oh, they tell you, but nobody wants to listen.
They
That's
try to
the
say
problem.
incurable. They try to say incurable. It's not incurable.
I can't tell you how many things. I have a cousin who has diabetes really bad, and she's on more and more metformin or whatever it is, right? The insulin crap. And I've shared information with her. I've had discussions with her. I've told her about it. I've explained it to her. I've showed it to her. She's acknowledged it, and she still goes back to the metformin. And it's like, I can't help you. You have to decide that you're going to beat this.
Yes, Robin. Goji berries are great things.
I want to add something.
Yeah, goji berries are good. Mm-hmm.
When
Miss Bell.
When you go to the doctor and get tested and have them test all your vitamins, but get a full panel done, because then they can test your mercury levels and everything else to see what else may be going on and causing problems. A full panel.
Yes, and take your results home with you, because your doctor's going to tell you this stuff, and
and
your doctor's going to try to.
I want to be number 6.
You remember, it's your body. You're in charge of your body, and your doctor is there for you to help you be in charge of your body. Make sure you steer them in a good direction, because a lot of doctors, you know, they have good intentions, I think, but they don't understand. They don't understand.
And some of them don't care. Some of them get paid by the prescription. So, you know, they're just popping it out there. And I'm going to read something here.
Money.
Chris Jarvis says, I had diabetes and went on keto and it went away. Look at it, it's doable, and keto might not be for everybody. That's not a magic answer for everybody, but that worked for him. Look into different things and see what works for you. But don't give up. Your gut health is so important.
Turmeric is great for that. And
turmeric and ginger both.
And
if you haven't read about leaky gut, none of this is going to matter. If you have not read about leaky gut, none of what we tell you is going to matter. You need to learn about what leaky gut is, and understand what and how that works. And your doctor may not understand what that is. My one doctor claims that that's a made-up word, and the other doctor was treating me for it. Now she's not allowed because she cured somebody of Lyme disease. And
what a freaking quack!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. I would say that the majority of general practitioners, they're not trained in all the things that, you know, they don't have time to learn that.
Is Ginger your girlfriend?
Yeah. Kimberly, you're so right there. General practitioners are not trained in nutrition, and that's where we're going to heal ourselves, is with the nutrition and how we take care of our bodies and our mental state. It's all combined, but they're not trained in that. They're trained in they're trained in
medication and how to. They're trained in poison.
Yes.
They're trained in cuts.
Can we just pause a second?
In broken bones.
Yeah.
Bomber mentioned gut health. I just dropped a link in the chat. Take the time to listen to that podcast when you get a chance. The first couple minutes, there's some commercial stuff. You know, you can listen to that or not, but listen to the core of that podcast. It's an excellent discussion about nutrition, the body's self-healing system.
Oh, Pharma didn't go there.
Not only.
Pharma didn't drop because you're not a mod, so it won't let you drop links.
not only
Oh,
do
so
the
none of my
tag
links have
drugs.
been going in.
Okay, I wanna bring this up too.
Send them to me, Farm, and I'll link
Alright.
them. Or
Awesome.
Yeah,
Mama
we
D,
got mods
can
for that, Farmy.
What's that?
Mama D, can you make
We got
Farm a
mods.
mod
Carl
so that
can use them.
Mama
You know
D,
what it is.
can you make Farm a mod so that he can drop his
I
link?
can't from here. I tried to make somebody a mod, and I can't do it right now.
Oh
I'll
shit.
just shoot
For
it to
some doggone reason, they're not
all
it's
good.
not letting me do it.
Oh, good.
Well,
I tried it.
Keto.
I'd have to go into.
There you go, bombs. It's on me.
I'd have to actually go into YouTube, and right now
Okay,
I have to be in
great.
StreamYard.
Great Lakes says that he has Lyme disease.
Oh man.
Yeah. Farm, do your thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
you
doctors don't even believe that Lyme disease is real.
Can do to you. Psych drugs are really bad. Can even make you suicidal.
So for starters, GLS, check out Stephen Harabuner, Lyme co-infections on YouTube. That'll start you on the path. It's a long pathway, and but I do have some stuff that I shared with Bomber, and I can share with you as well. I don't know if you're on MeWe or not, maybe, but there is a way to beat this.
Maybe Farm, you know what? Maybe you could drop some links in the comment section too of this video afterwards.
Yeah,
I guess I could do that.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. I know you can do that.
All right. Anyway,
Great Lakes, I know exactly what you're going through. I'm dealing with that too.
I'm getting rid of that. I'm going to have a guy on here that's going to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about some nutrition stuff myself that I've learned because I have fibro. And I've gotten rid of a lot. I mean, I have felt so bad. I thought I was dying. I was sure I was dying. So I know, I mean, when you talk about this, Bomber, it's like I know just how bad you can feel. And I mean, to where every breath was really painful. And I was wondering how I was going to get out of it. Okay. And I am so much better now. One of the things I'm going to have on here, I'm going to talk about homeopathy. People don't understand homeopathy.
Yep.
That's going to be one of the things. We're going to discuss herbalism. We're going to discuss herbal remedies. We're going to discuss food. We're going to do all of that. We're going to do all this.
We're at 3 hours now, Mama D. I just want to point out that if we're going to do that, maybe let's make that a whole show.
And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to wrap it up right now.
And Farm, just before we close up, you were about to say something there. It was really important.
Finish your thoughts and let me wrap this up because I got to have something for tomorrow.
I do want to say something after Farm, which is why I hopped on.
Actually, I think I have a few minutes. I think I have a little bit of extra time because I didn't use it all up. So it's okay. Go ahead and finish your thoughts, folks. But then we got to think about what is the, okay, wait a minute. What is the date tomorrow? It's tomorrow the 26th. Are we?
Tomorrow's the 26th.
Well, today's the 26th.
Today's the 26th, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's
2:34.
where I am.
2:34.
Okay, because the 26th it renews, so we might be renewing already. And then I'm going to have to come up with some money for Unlimited because I can see you guys have a lot to say, and you're looking for somewhere to say it.
I'd like to hear what. I'd like to hear what Belle has to say.
I would.
Yes, I want to hear
Belle's
Belle.
been sitting here quiet while we've all been yapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So patient.
Don't want to overtalk over anybody.
Well, step
Well,
up.
Belle has been very polite. Everybody, shut up and let
We're
Belle.
chatty, but Belle, you have the floor.
Go, Belle.
Belle, take the talking stick.
Belle.
Now I'm on the spot. By the way, this is a first time for me. Never done this before, so.
Oh, she's a virgin.
I am.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for trusting us.
One of the things, the biggest thing that has helped me throughout my whole life, and it wasn't just about my mom's death. Growing up, I was ostracized as well. And I'm not going to get into all that. my life, so that's an entire show in itself. Just my childhood and my mom's death. Anyway, is always trying to find as much positive as I possibly could out of everything and anything that happened.
Yep.
And then just look at the negative, learn from it, as well as the positive, learn from it, and not necessarily, can't say don't look back, don't forget it, but learn from it and move on. Because the world's still turning, life is still going on for everybody else, and I needed to keep going. Something about my mom's death. My oldest daughter was 6 days old when this happened, and so I was a brand new mother myself, and I had to keep going for my daughter's sake. The things that happened with my mom's death were people were nasty and vile, just and very, very, very cruel. There wasn't an investigation. The police, they couldn't prove anything either way. I mean, there was speculation that my stepdad had killed her. Just so that everybody understands, my stepdad pushed my mom out of the car while it was going 55 miles an hour.
Jesus.
So there was speculation. But he had said that they were fighting about me. And she said, and his words were at the hospital when I got there in the waiting room with half of my family sitting there, was that she said, fine. I was living with them at the time. And she said, fine, I will tell Shelly she's got 30 days to get out. And then she opened the door and jumped out of the car. So people there were people who it was such a broad spectrum of, their own thoughts about, what they thought what happened, even though they weren't there. I wasn't even there. I didn't know what happened. But they just have, their speculation of what had happened. And it ran from, yes, a lot of people thought that he did push her out. Nobody could prove it. There were people that thought that I was such an awful, awful daughter and I had pushed her to the point where she just couldn't take it anymore and just jumped. There were people who thought that my stepdad and I had an affair and he was the father of my daughter and we planned to kill my mom.
Damn.
I went through
weight to carry.
Absolute, utter, pure hell when my mom died. And my mom she was literally my idol. And it's hard because I am the spitting image of my mother. So every time I look in the mirror, I can see my mom. And so with everything that I went through, and there was also there's other stuff that happened. Make it really quick and short. A month later, 2 of my best friends were on their way to my baby shower and they got in a car accident. One died, one was in the hospital for 9 months. Her son was in the hospital for 1.5 years. And I also had 6 other deaths within 3 months. It was a bad year for me. And the whole rest of the year was just a bad year for me. All the way to December, it was a bad year.
And just
But-
one of those will put you in shock, by the way, like total shock.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's real
started,
trauma.
my hair started going gray. And I was 18 years old when this happened, when my mom died.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, hun.
Um,
I know people
So-
that have had that happen. Yes.
with the way people, how they were, and I did have a few people literally walk up to me, to my face, and tell me, to my face, that they thought that I had a part to play in my mom's death. Like, yes, yeah, I know you and your stepdad had an affair and you planned to kill your mom for the insurance money.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Just the sheer ignorance of a statement like that.
Oh my God.
The things people said were just
Yeah,
mind-blowing.
absolutely horrible. The last thing you need on top of everything else you were through. Jesus, you know?
oh,
Yeah,
people are
really.
deluded. Some people are deluded.
Some
Oh,
people
yeah.
are flat out assholes, period.
I had it in my
Yes.
family too when my mom died. If I wouldn't have reported my stepdad for abuse, this wouldn't have happened. And I'm like, really?
Oh,
yeah.
That's the blame game that humans tend to play.
Yeah.
But I also, growing up, like I said, I was ostracized. I live in Utah. It's, well, back then, it was like 90% Mormon. We didn't go to church. My family didn't go to church, so I was ostracized for not going to church. I was called the seed of the devil, the spawn of the devil, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Just, so I had already had, like, growing up, I had already, I knew just how awful people could be. And it wasn't just kids in school bullying me and telling me this. I had adults, I was not allowed to go to certain houses. There were actually a few kids who were not allowed to sit by me in class.
Wow.
Like, their desk couldn't be next to me because people were that just ignorant. So I already
Ignorance
knew.
spreads everywhere, huh?
So I already, I grew up with that, and so I already knew just how awful people could be, but yet I still maintained somewhat of some kind of an innocence. I don't know how, but I did. I still maintained some kind of innocence. And, thankfully, I grew up in my parents, we had, a really good family. And very, very, very loving. And my grandma, she was born and raised in England and came to the United States when she was 18. And she was ostracized when she came here because she was English. So she helped me through a lot of things, as well as my parents and my older brother. And my older brother, he experienced it some, but not as much as I did. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because he was a boy and bigger than all the other kids.
That helps.
Yeah, and I was a girl, and literally the shortest girl in the entire grade, like all through elementary school. I was the shortest girl. So I don't know, but anyway, so I had already experienced how awful people could be growing up, and then, but when my mom died, it was like, I would call it an awakening, because it was above and beyond what I had experienced as a child,
It's like-
even, growing up. So
Like everything else got the volume turned down? Or nah?
I don't know. It was just, it was shocking. It was actually very shocking.
2 thumbs down? Well, there's the troll.
Here.
Okay.
Doesn't
So
matter.
what?
Probably for me, they don't want to hear my story.
No, no, that was probably there long ago. We've been on for over 3 hours.
Don't worry about it. You know what?
Definitely not for you.
It doesn't matter if it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's an interaction, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, I learned that I had to keep going, and the best way to deal with all of that, it was just to let it go and to find as much positive as I could in all of it, learn from it. And although because I didn't know whether I was actually the cause of my mom's death or not, I still felt and carried that guilt. And so I walked on eggshells with what I said for a long time because I was so afraid to do or say anything that hurt anybody. And now I'm not afraid. I try not to.
You became your own prison, basically, right?
Yes.
I could totally relate to that.
That's exactly what happens, yes.
And I guess we can't hold on to any of our negative emotions or feelings and hold grudges. And we have to forgive. And like I said, it took a long time and a lot for me to forgive my stepdad. He passed away 4 years ago, and literally on his deathbed admitted to a friend that he did push my mom out of the car.
Oh my God.
Devastating, but what a relief for you to be able to deal with that on a different level than you were, huh?
Wow.
Right, because he had that choice. He had that choice to tell you or not, and he told you.
I mean,
so
thank
in that
God
moment,
you at least got to know that, right? Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, it
wasn't easy either, I'm sure.
No, actually, when I was told, I was actually a mess for about 2 weeks. And because it brought up so much hurt and anger that I thought I had buried, but it was just and let go of, but it's like just below the surface. And I was a mess, and I wanted to even do the stupidest thing of go and dig up his ashes and just go let a dog pee on him or something. It was just,
Gross.
I went through this awful, I went through this very awful, vindictive, vengeful, how do I get even with you? I can't even, you're dead, you're gone. I can't even say anything to you. How do I try to get even with you? So, and it lasted for about 2 weeks until I finally was just like, you know, he's gone. He is not a part of my life. And
Bella.
Okay, I'm going to say something here. It's my show, doggone it, and I can say something. I don't mean to interrupt, but I got to tell you, there is a lady I know. There is a lady, I'm sure. Well, anyway, there's a lady I know who she loves dogs. She loves her dogs. And her husband, she didn't love him much. When he died, she buried him. Every year, she goes out and lets her dogs pee on his grave and pees in a cup and puts it on the grave. And I got to tell you, though, she is a miserable woman.
Yep.
She is a very miserable person, holding that resentment every year, acting on it every year. Who's in prison?
Yeah. Who are you poisoning? Who are you hurting, really?
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself.
Exactly.
You're hurting yourself. You're wasting your energy hurting yourself, living in the past, because that's what it is. It's the past.
You're toxifying yourself.
Transform.
And you gotta quit that. Now quit it, everybody. Everybody, I'm watching. Cut it out. Everybody. We got you. We need you for better stuff. We need you for better stuff than that.
At the end of the day, if you can't get over it from that perspective, think about it like this. You have a finite amount of energy to spend in your lifetime, on your entire lifetime and everything you do in it. Are you going to spend it on hate? Because what you're doing is giving that person more power over your life. Whereas if you turn and use that to drive you in a positive direction, you can take that anger and resentment and hate and pain and turn it into a positive thing and put it out into the world as a positive thing. And now you've transformed all the negative shit that they did to you into positive for everyone else.
What is better?
all those negative things that people do, it lowers your vibration.
Yeah, and when all that positive bounces back, because remember, what you put out comes back. When all that bounces back, guess where it goes? Back to you.
The law of attraction.
If people could just understand this, can you imagine what a planet we'd have?
It would be a lot different, wouldn't it?
It would be incredibly different.
Honestly. And honestly, I got to tell you, I got to, in about 4 minutes, I'm going to cut this off, but we'll get back together tomorrow night. And I want to hear all about all of your stuff tomorrow night. And like I said, we needed to finish it up, but I also need a break. And I'm going to and I'm going to love myself enough to say, dudes, I gave you the floor for a good long while, and I will give it to you again tomorrow night. But right now, this is going to be a little self-love. I got to cut it off in about 4 minutes. So wrap it up, folks, and we'll get together tomorrow, and we can talk another 3 hours at least, okay?
Okay, perfect, Dee, perfect. I'm just going to throw something out about the celiac disease quick, because I mentioned in the chat there, don't just cut out this whole elimination diet business. That's not actually good for you until you get tested for celiac, for who that concerns.
However, I would say stop eating bread.
Don't do that. No, don't do that until you get tested for celiac, because if you okay, but I'll tell you why that's not a good idea. If you cut it out of your diet and you have celiac disease, you're not going to want to get back on it to be tested, and you need to find out if you have it, because if you have it and you only cut it out half-assed, you're going to kill yourself, because you're not actually taking all the steps you need to do to cut it. I mean, celiac is a serious disease.
There's other factors in with that as well. It's not just celiac. There's also most of our food supply is contaminated with all sorts of chemicals, especially glyphosate, and that screws your gut up horribly with the smallest amount. So
Once
you
you
could go off
once
bread
you
and
get
still be
tested,
eating something else that's doing it.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mama's
Once
point
you
is
get
valid.
tested, though,
Well-being
once you
is
get
something
tested,
entirely different doing this problem to you. And but I'm just saying, as a matter of course, if you don't want to give yourself something bad,
Yeah.
all
Don't
of
eat a
our
lot of
bread
bread for
and most
sure.
of our grains
Yeah.
is
Grains in
contaminated.
general. Yes. And then you
Yeah.
add in the fact that grains really should be processed correctly, and that means either fermentation or something to remove the phytic acid, so you're not eating anti-nutrients, which is literally what you're doing because of phytic acid. That's part of the seed.
Yeah.
We can talk about that
Sprouted
another
grains
night.
are
That's a
so
whole
much
Yeah,
other
we'll
better.
go
topic.
another time on that.
That's
But
a sad fact. A sad fact is we are being toxified right, left, front, and
Every
center.
day.
And you got to be very vigilant with all that. And we'll talk about this.
Yep.
I promise. I promise we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the celiacs and what it isn't and what to do about it. Well, I will give you that platform. I love the idea, but I really got to get ready to close it down.
It's all
Thank
good.
you. This is Ocean
This is a
Make
great
Away
conversation.
and giving you
Well,
a
I'll
surf
the
wave
egg.
too, so that you can go out and surf those waves. And the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding it here, and I think we are. Okay. And my guests, I love you. You were fantastic. You're absolutely fantastic. Hope you show up tomorrow. Everybody who was in chat, you were fantastic too. Hope you show up tomorrow. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna have to go unlimited because you guys are just too awesome, and I want more of this. I'm addicted now, and I think it's a good addiction. I think it's good addiction. Hey. But and if anybody wants to donate, let me know. I'll find my PayPal, and that would be groovy too. But if not, that's okay. I am just going to intend that somehow this all works out. So good night, all of you. I love you, and please show up tomorrow, and I'll be announcing when I'm on again. I'll try to go on during the day sometime so that this isn't so late at night for some of you, because some of you I know have to work. Okay, love you, and good
Love
night.
you.
Night,
Love
everybody.
you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Night.
Well, I'll the egg.
And thank you, Belle, for letting us be your first.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
Thank you. Come back on and talk some more.
Okay.